Item 4, citizen participation. Welcome to the Board of Ed meeting. The board meets and conducts school business in public. The public is invited to watch and listen to the Board of Education deliberate and vote on the agenda items scheduled for action and discussion. Although the Board of Education meets in public, this is not a meeting for the public to participate. It is a meeting for the 7 members of the Board of Education to conduct their business solely amongst each other. If there are citizens in the audience who wish to be recognized by the Board of Ed for the purpose of making a statement or asking a question, this is the appropriate place on the agenda. Citizens are to fill out the public input card and give it to the board president prior to the start of the meeting. Bridgeport guidelines for public participation at board meetings. Prohibiting behavior that is intemperate, abusive, defamatory, or discourages, or that otherwise interferes with the orderly conduct and timely completion of the board meeting, if it harms a person's reputation by exposing or trying to bring on hatred, there's no opinions will be allowed which can cause ridicule or hatred. So the cards, according to bylaws and to Robert's meeting, so you're going to fill out the public input card and give it to the board president. You'll step to the podium, state your name, and proceed with a statement or a question. Per board policy, each person will be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. No response will be given. This is not the time for making complaints about employees. So, Mark, if you want to hand the cards over to the board president.
After last meeting's shenanigans, I think I'll just announce the people. We don't need to have any more problems with our open meetings act.
Yeah. Mark, we're going to, does anyone have an objection to take a recess then for discussion to keep the board meeting orderly?
This is partly why.
So
up first.
Our bylaws actually state, and it says right here, the OMA, the board president, that is the job. So, and you can, but you're supposed to hand those to the board president. It says it right there, Mark. So if you're not going to comply.
It's right here in front of you. Are you trying to hijack the board meeting?
No, we just want to make sure everybody gets a chance to speak, and we didn't do that last time.
together.
We also asked people if they were voters the last time.
Yep.
We also asked people.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is,
None
Amy.
of that is
No, it
actually
is not.
admissible.
Yes, it is.
You know what? We're not talking to you. This is our meeting, and the superintendent and no one else actually has to be present. It is for us to have a meeting to discuss for the board. That is what a board meeting is.
Okay, and a board member's telling you it is illegal.
She consulted our lawyer about.
So calling out names from the cards
Yep.
should not be an issue, as it was at the last meeting. So up first, we
Mark,
have
you
Christopher
have to
Roach.
follow compliance as well, Mark. So we will take a motion then to recess and to reschedule until we can get order and you follow compliance. I'm motioning that at this time to reschedule.
Why?
Yeah.
Amy, there's no reason to.
Okay, right. I'm motioning. Is there a second?
We should be working together. This
And
is
you aren't.
kind of Crazy.
Now are you, Carmen?
Yeah, he's he. So is there a second? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sir, have a seat, hon, until your name is
Okay.
called, okay?
All right. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Well, Rebecca Earhart.
Because no one would second it.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Earhart, and I've had the privilege of teaching 8th grade science in Bridgeport for the last 9 years, most of them under Mr. Walton's leadership. When I think about leadership, I don't think first about test scores or budgets. I think about character, compassion, and commitment to people, and that's exactly who Mr. Walton is. When my family faced one of our hardest moments, he showed up, not out of obligation, but because that's who he is. He attended my mother's funeral and sent a district-wide message encouraging others to support us. That kindness meant a lot to me and reminded me that leadership isn't just about managing a district, it's about caring for the people in it. My mother was an educator in Bridgeport for 47 years. Teaching was her calling and her life's work. This summer, while going through her things, I found an old evaluation with a written response from her. In it, she praised Mr. Baker and Mr. Walton for supporting all students, especially her special education students. She wrote about how Mr. Walton visited her classroom, talked with her students, and made them feel seen and valued. That meant a lot to me because my mom cared deeply about one thing, her students. And that is what Mr. Walton cares about too, which brings me to our students. This past Friday, we took 45 of our best 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science STEM students to a STEM Girls' Day Out at Delta College. I was with my 8th grade girls for 4 hands-on STEM lessons. 2 staff members from separate sessions approached me to say how much they loved our girls. One of them said, and I quote, "Your students were the most exciting and engaged we've had all day." During a 3D printing session, the instructor asked if anyone had used Tinkercad. All 14 hands in the room went up, and the girls proudly said, "We have STEM lab at our school." He was so impressed that he spent the session complimenting their skills and ornament designs. His words were, "Wow, you girls really are good at this program." This summer, we trained in Leader in Me, a program that encourages students to be leaders in their school. After Friday's labs, I had an idea, and I suggested to all the girls that they could teach the labs to their classmates, and I could assist them in the labs. They were thrilled, and they can't wait to lead their peers. I was incredibly proud of our students, proud to be a Bearcat. We are giving our kids opportunities to grow and succeed through programs that Mr. Walton has brought to our district. We are moving forward, but meaningful change doesn't happen overnight. I wanted to share this real-time data, these student experiences, and my mom's words with you tonight. Mr. Walton's leadership reaches beyond his office. Students feel valued, teachers are supported, and families are cared for. He has built the trust our district needs, and losing a leader with such heart would be a significant loss. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Linda Will.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I am Linda Will, the 8th grade ELA teacher. This is my 31st year here as a full-time teacher at Bridgeport Spalding Community School District. Sorry, I can talk in front of your kids all day, but get me in front of a group of adults. Whew. I have lived or worked in Bridgeport my entire life. I have been here for the good, the bad, and the ugly. I first met Mark Walton approximately 10-ish years ago when he was hired as an academic teacher consultant. At first, I didn't think too much of him, that he was just going to be another consultant telling us how to do our jobs. But as time went on, Mark wasn't telling us how to do our jobs, but showing us ways to help us do our jobs better. He talked to us about our struggles, what we needed, and what he could do to make our jobs easier. Once Mark became our superintendent, he continued to help us teachers and has helped the whole district become a better place to work and learn. With Patty's financial guidance, he brought in a new curriculum, new STEM labs, Bearcat Academy, college tutors, just to name a few. All of this was done to help our students and us achieve success in the classroom. You don't realize how good of a job this man has done unless you consider where we came from, the bottom. I am aware test scores are not where we would like them to be, But part of our job in education is to help our students become better humans and to be more productive as citizens in society. Teaching and helping students to be better humans is often more important than teaching them to be better test takers. Most of you weren't here for the ugly. The last couple superintendents we had ran our district as a business, ran it into the ground. Mark Welton doesn't run our district as a business. He runs it as if he is part of our family and only wants the best for all of us. I don't know how you think Mark can be replaced. There is no one out there who knows our district the way Mark does or who cares about our district the way Mark does. In all my years here, I have never seen a superintendent more involved and available to the staff and students. If you don't vote to renew Mark with a satisfactory contract and instead choose to bring in an outsider, they will not run our district as part of our family and will not have our best interest at heart. Thank you for your time.
Okay, you're gonna have to help me with the last name. Don from Hemlock, and your last name,
Killingbeck.
Killing? Okay. Oh, so sorry.
No problem. So Dr. Don Killingbeck from Hemlock, thank you so much for the opportunity to address the Bridgeport Spalding Community School District Board of Education. It's a privilege to be here. I have known Mark Welton since middle school. And I can tell you that I think our teachers would think very highly of both of us that we made it this far. I've had the privilege of working alongside him as a fellow superintendent for the last several years. This is a 30,000 level view. He has helped transform this district with relationships, finances, facility, brand, and image. He is a role model of service, passion, giving of himself, and always leaning in to lead forward with no barriers, all possibilities. I would hope that everyone involved will work together to secure the future of Bridgeport Spalding and secure that future with Mark Welton. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Christopher Roche.
It is clear that this community wants Mark Welton as superintendent. What has also become clear is that while 4 board members voted no to renew Mark's contract last meeting, they do not share equally in the blame. One person deserves to shoulder far more of the weight of that responsibility. That person is Amelia Morales. You did hear me right, by the way. I said Amelia Morales. That is the board president's real name. When a person does research into the name Amelia Morales, there's a lot of troubling information that comes up. As I learned in an email from a concerned citizen earlier this week, 16 separate civil cases have been filed against Amelia in the last 13 years in the Saginaw County 70th District Court. 10 were tied to non-payment of her rent, and 6 were civil debt suits from medical or financial creditors. 16 times in 13 years, Amelia Morales has had civil suits in the Saginaw County courts because of her inability to handle her own personal finances. I would like to ask the other members of the board, do you think that is the type of person who should be making decisions with a $23 million school budget? Is the type of person who can't keep her own house clean who we want making decisions for our kids? Something else that became clear last week is the influence that Amelia has over the other members of the board. They have been told that they are not to speak to Mark Welton. By keeping the other board members in the dark, she's been able to control the narrative. By controlling the narrative, she's been able to insert her own agenda. By Ms. Irby, Ms. Bremsey, and Ms. Castillo, you all voted no last meeting to renew Mark's contract. I do not think you are bad people. I think you have been deliberately kept in the dark. I'm sure this is not news to you, but if it is, allow me to be transparent. A petition has been filed for you, Ms. Irby, Ms. Bremsey, and Ms. Castillo, to be recalled from your positions on the school board. Soon, signatures will be compiled to support that recall, and a special election will be set to remove you from your seats on the board. Then, a campaign against the 3 of you will begin. But it does not have to be this way. If you begin to act in the interest of the people and not Amelia, things can be different. I know from personal experience that one of you really does care about the kids of this school district, and I hope the same is true about the other two as well. It seems as though your judgment's been clouded, but look around and see reality for what it is. The people of Bridgeport want Mark Welton as their leader. Something I hope we can agree on is that our parents know what is best for their kids, and they want them to grow up in the school district that Mark Welton has built. If you want to support those parents and their kids, start now. Make a motion to remove Amelia Morales from her position. Make a motion to negotiate the new contract proposal in front of the public line by line. Make a motion to vote on that contract and say yes tonight. The people of Bridgeport know what is best for their kids. Listen to them, not Amelia. She has been willing to buy her ring of power at the cost of our students' livelihoods, and she has worn that ring hideously. Stop letting her control the narrative and help us take back our school district from someone who is willing to stand.
Okay, you're set. And you're also... So again, the bylaws state no expressing your own personal opinions in regards to harming a person,
Amy, let's
trying to
move on.
harm a person's reputation.
Amy, move on.
Or, all right. By exposing or trying to bring on. You're out of order, out of order. So, Amy Saha.
Good evening. My name is Amy Saha, and I've been blessed to be a teacher in this district for 15 years. I'm here tonight to respectfully ask the board to revisit and negotiate the contracts for Mr. Welton and Ms. Bullock. When Mr. Welton arrived, Bridgeport was a state-identified priority school. Under his leadership, we worked our way off that list. One of his key initiatives was the Adolescent Accelerated Reading Initiative, or AARI, which helps students make up to 2 to 3 years of reading growth in just one semester. He's also expanded after-school supports like Bearcat Academy and the Bearcat Reading Club, and reintroduced intervention specialists in reading and math, so our most at-risk students get the help they need. He continues to tackle post-COVID attendance issues with care and consistency. Mr. Welton leads with his heart. He's a visible, innovative, and deeply engaged with both students and staff. When I proposed a Science Mom fundraiser 4 years ago for the students to help build responsibility, he supported it. Programs like Mission IO show his commitment to keeping learning fresh and exciting for our students. Together, Mr. Welton and Ms. Bullock have led Bridgeport from a $1 million deficit to a $7 million surplus, a remarkable turnaround that reflects focused, responsible leadership. At a summer board meeting, there was a question raised about our MSTEP test scores on myschooldata.org. While our scores remain a challenge, it's important to note that the same website provides information that more than 95% of Bridgeport students are economically disadvantaged. This disadvantage has a profound effect on our students and their test scores. Despite this, we continue to make steady, meaningful progress. Mr. Welton believes in our students, our staff, and our community. We want him to continue leading this district forward. I've attended most board meetings since June, and I truly appreciate your renewed commitment to open communication that was seen and heard at the last board meeting. Like you, I'm here because I care deeply about our students' success. So again, I respectfully ask you to negotiate and finalize these contracts. Our students deserve the stability and vision that strong leadership provides. Without it, they're the ones who stand to lose the most. Thank you for your time and for all you do for the students of Bridgeport.
Thank you, Amy. Gina McLeod.
Good evening, board members. I'm Gina McLeod, and I teach 7th grade math. This is my 10th year here at Bridgeport. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I want to talk about something that matters deeply to all of us, how we define success for our students and our schools. Too often, success is measured only by standardized test scores, but our students are so much more than a single number on a state test. Standardized tests capture a moment, but they don't capture the growth, the effort, or the heart that our students show day in and day out. They don't show the student who started the year far below grade level, but worked tirelessly to make real progress. They don't show the spark in a child's eye when something finally clicks after weeks of hard work. Those tests don't tell the story of the incredible effort happening in our classrooms every day, the late nights, the small breakthroughs, and the determination our kids show even when the odds are against them. Last year, our NWEA results showed that over 54% of our students have made growth based on NWEA's test benchmark. That is something to celebrate. It tells us that our teachers are being given the resources our students need, and hard work is paying off. Our students are learning. They are moving forward step by step. We also have to recognize the challenges our community faces. Many of them come to school carrying burdens no child should have to bear, yet they still show up, they still try, and they still grow. That's courage. That's resilience. Absenteeism continues to be one of our biggest obstacles. When students aren't in school, they miss every instruction and support that drives this growth. But when we can get them here, when we can make school a place they feel safe, supported, and seen, the results speak for themselves. Mr. Welton has hired Mrs. Booker, and this year we have already seen a decrease in the amount of students who are absent on a daily basis. This is, again, a step in the right direction. So yes, test scores matter, but growth matters more. Progress matters more. And the spirit, determination, and potential of our students, that's what truly defines a great school. Mr. Welton is working with us teachers to break through these barriers so our students' possibilities are endless and will help lead them to greater success. Please negotiate his contract, because here at Bridgeport, we work as a team. This team fights for our students' success. Thank you.
Julie Licavoli.
My name is Julie Licavoli, and I've been a teacher at Bridgeport Spalding Middle School for 15 years. I want to start by saying how disappointed I am to be here again, speaking on this issue. As an educator, my passion is teaching students, not acting as a watchdog, to ensure the right decisions are being made for our district. At the last meeting I attended, I left feeling somewhat hopeful. Based on some of your comments, it seemed that several board members understood the importance of stability and leadership and recognized the positive impact Superintendent Welton has had on our students and on our district. And I believed that you were committed to reviewing the details responsibly and moving forward in the best interest of Bridgeport Spalding. While I was hoping that the contract would be approved 2 weeks ago, I respected the decision to take additional time to review it carefully. However, that contract has been available since June, and 2 weeks now have passed, and yet we are no closer to a resolution. At this point, it's hard to understand why it's being delayed. Our staff, our students, and community deserve stability and confidence in the district's leadership. Prolonging this decision only creates unnecessary uncertainty and frustration. Superintendent Welton and Ms. Bullock have served this district with dedication and integrity. They deserve fair terms and an extension of at least 3 years so that our district can move forward with focus and unity. I urge the board to put an end to the delays and to take decisive action tonight. Please approve the contracts and allow our district to move ahead.
Nicholas Hill. What? Nicholas Hill?
He's closing he's first program right now. He's at the middle school running our program for elementary.
The youth first. Mr.
Oh, okay, we can put him last. We can do that last, yeah. Sam McKenzie.
Good evening. My name's Sam McKenzie, and as of October of last year, I've been blessed to become a homeowner and a community member in this district. Like many out there, friends, residents, I purchased a home here because of a steady progression as a community and as a school district that has turned around over the last 8 years. 8 years ago, this school was in jeopardy of closing down. And it's tough to believe that with how far we've come and the strength that it has today. Simply put, strong schools make strong communities. That attracts families, raises property values, it creates a sense of pride and stability we all share. And that's one of the reasons I'm deeply concerned about the possibility of removing Superintendent Mark Welton. From everything I've seen, he's done a job with transparency, professionalism, and a genuine commitment and love to the students and staff of this district. Under his leadership has been fiscal responsibility, more community engagement than ever, and as most see, if you attend the sporting events, he's the kids' biggest fan. You can see he has a passion to be here for these kids, and if the district removes a leader who's done everything right, poured his all into it, it risks more than a change in leadership. It risks undermining the confidence of families, teachers, homeowners who depend on steady, ethical leadership to keep our schools and community moving forward. This unnecessary instability at the top is drawing negative effects on staff, declines trust among parents, residents, it lowers morale, and these effects ripple outside the classroom to the neighborhoods. I truly don't understand why we need to change and potentially lose all the progress Mr. Welton has impactfully led. And it's tough to believe that this solution has the kids' best interest in mind. There's already been more than enough unnecessary chaos and negativity, and the true victims that suffer from this are unacceptably the children. I ask the school board and the community as a whole to carefully consider the motive behind this potential change. Are we truly putting the kids first? Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Matt Smith. Matt Smith, I'm sorry? Oh.
Hi, my name is Matt Smith. State testing and student growth are areas of concern for all school districts across the state of Michigan. Very few school districts in the state of Michigan are 100% with their data. State proficiency is not where districts want them to be across the state. What tells the real story is the district's student growth percentage. The state average for student growth is 49.4%. Bridgeport is at 54.4%. We are higher than the state average. We are beating a lot of our neighboring districts, or we are right there with them. Are we where we want to be yet? No. But our students, teachers, and administrators are working their butts off to get there. This trend of increased student growth had started with the arrival of Mr. Welton and Ms. Bolick. It is no coincidence that this percentage continues to increase every year under their leadership. The reality we face right now is that we have a divided school board. We have no answers for why this is happening. It is about to demolish 8 years of hard work that has got our district into a great position. Whether this is unintentionally or perhaps intentionally placing barriers on this progress for our students, teachers, and administrators. I've been through the bad times in our district. We want to continue to thrive in the good times with Mr. Welton and Ms. Bullock's leadership that has led us into this. I have been part of negotiating multiple BEA contracts with Mr. Welton and Ms. Bolick that have continued to move our students and teachers into a position to be successful and competitive. Not one time do we have to bring lawyers in that cost $335 an hour to reach that agreement. These actions have saved the district thousands and thousands of dollars over the past 8 years. We are now facing 2 individual contracts that are being questioned and fumbled over for 5 months plus. Lawyer costs continue to rise over this with no progress being made. As someone that has been part of multiple contract negotiations, this does not look like negotiating is being done in good faith. This is and will continue to hurt every aspect of our district. Renew these damn contracts so the dysfunction and chaos can end.
Nicholas Hill.
Hello, everybody. Can I change this? You mind if I? All right, I'll just hold it. All right. My name is Nicholas Hill, and I am the director of You First. My original reason to come to the board meeting was because I was invited by Gleisha Tatum because she did the mural, and that was my first introduction to some of you on the board. I appreciate the pictures and everything. It was a wonderful experience. The second reason that I wanted to come to the board meeting is because simply I wanted to say thank you. Many of you have been a part of our classes. Our staff and we are here at Bridgeport, and we work over 12 hours making sure that the littles have a connection with the community. We represent over 50 in our morning program, and there's 50 in our after-school program. I appreciate you allowing me to speak because we literally left the after-school program. I wanted to read something that a parent said today. His name is Jonathan. I don't represent myself. I represent the parents and the students and the children. And this is what he said. In 2023, without the help of You First program, I would not have been able to keep my job due to the timing of the bus schedule. His name is Jonathan Oslander. He said he's happy that his daughter Emily can be a part of the You First program because sometimes they pick on her because her hair is short and has different colors. Why are we here? You First is to do what? Put the you first. That's what we're here for. I want to show you something that I brought as a demonstration, if you don't mind. It's called a plumb line. What's really cool is Emily's dad is actually a contractor, and he explained what a plumb line is to me. A plumb line is something that is used to make sure that the foundation is straight. It's also, when you're building upward, it makes sure the walls are straight. He told me that if the foundation is not straight and if the walls don't go on straight, then everything we do after it will fail. I know we're in the process of deciding what the future of Bridgeport will be. I don't know what's in the negotiations, but what I do know that there is a plumb line that if we don't make the right decisions for the right reasons, what I do know that is what we do, it matters. I'm just asking that whatever the plumb line, the standard that you're making the decisions, make sure we just simply do the right things. For the future of our children, negotiate the right things. I'm just asking, but what I do know with the last 44 seconds that I have, is that whatever the meat that you measure, however you measure that plumb line, it always comes back to us. So I'm gonna ask you, when you're in your negotiation, I just want you to consider that our children are watching. Our children are looking at the decisions that we make. Our children are watching how we respond to each other. Our children are watching, and how can we expect them to be better if we don't set a good example for them? I wanted to say thank you all. I wanted to say thank you for Mr. Welding. He came to my director's funeral when she was dying, and she simply said, we're here as a community, make a difference. And all I ask you to do is continue to make that difference. Think about you first. Anything other than that, let's put it aside.
Thank you. Thank you. Miles Franklin. Miles Franklin.
Gotta take this out. Okay. The mic in the hand of a custodial. First of all, I want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to stand before you and to stand before our superintendent. I'm coming a little bit different than what anybody else may come. I'm not here to bash nobody. I'm not here to tell you you're doing such a bad job. I'm here to just tell the board, thank you. Why would you tell the board, thank you? Because some 7 years or so ago, the board went out to find someone that was gonna lead Bridgeport to the next level. You did that. And I say to the board, thank you. You wanted somebody that was gonna be able to reach the community. You did that. Board, I said, thank you. You wanted somebody that the community, the teachers, the leaders in the schools already that was going to be able to respect them. Check. You did that also. Now, I'm coming to you just to say, right now, our leadership under Mark is over and above what I think you thought it was going to be. We have state-of-the-art. When you look at our schools, our smart labs, you look at, matter of fact, I was looking at Thomas White, and I see when the snow was on the ground, I saw green. They call it what, forever green? Under his leadership. I look at the gym, and I look at everything that's going on under his leadership. I tell the board, thank you, because it couldn't have happened if the board wouldn't have said, this is who we want. That being said, I also want to say thank you for choosing him for us. Now, here we are some 7 years later, and there seems to be some separation. I know a house divided against itself ain't gonna stand. But if we just stand together, I guarantee you it's gonna get better and better. That being said, I just want to let the board know, thank you. But before I go with my 33 seconds, I got to say something about my brother from another mother. And even though I know he's not at the mic to speak to you directly, I'm gonna do it for him. There's a song that be in some churches that simply say, it's 8 words, and it say, let the worst speak for me. Thank you.
Brandon Sweeney.
I gotta grab my things there. "50 years ago today, the Edmund Fitzgerald sunk in Lake Superior. There were 29 souls aboard. Both radars were out and the weather was brutal. Hours later, it was gone. Every November 10th, the bells ring 29 times in Detroit to honor those souls. It's a story both about blind courage and the consequences of that courage when warnings are ignored. When Mark Welton came to Bridgeport, this district needed a compass. Morale was sinking, finances were already underwater, students and staff were headed for the lifeboats. But Mark righted the ship. He set a clear heading, he restored our faith, he kept this crew together and even has added to it. He didn't run from the storm, he sailed this district straight through it. Now, after all that progress, this board's leadership is steering us right back into rough waters. The recall effort for 3 of this board's members is not about politics, it's about our survival. It's about protecting what's been rebuilt before it's lost forever. Bridgeport has about 1,500 students and about 180 employees, depending on this board to keep this ship steady. That's about 1,700 reasons to set aside your pride and do the right thing. Now lately, a couple of letters have been circulating throughout our community. That's what happens when you mislead the public, whether it's intentional or just plain incompetent. People shouldn't have to investigate an elected official. They should be transparent from the start. President Amy Morales has had 11 months as president and the last 5 months to solve a problem that she herself created. She still has yet to remove herself from the president's seat. That's not strength, it's weakness. Like a gambler who can't get up from the blackjack table because that big win just has to come any hand now. If she won't do the responsible thing, it's time for the rest of this board to do it for her. Captain McSorley's last message was, "We are holding our own." By nightfall, his ship and crew were nothing but a memory. Let's not repeat that mistake here tonight. Let's steady the ship, support our captain, and keep Bridgeport moving forward. Oh, and Amy, you should know better than to throw stones in a glass house, especially when 16 of those windows are already busted and the landlord's still waiting on the rent. So tell me, is that enough data to support our verbal allegations? Thank you.
Justin Taylor. Taylor.
Hello, my name is Justin Taylor, and I have the pleasure of being the band teacher here for Bridgeport Spalding Community School District. I'd like to take a moment first just to thank the board members and Mark Welton, who attended our concert a week and a half ago. That was greatly appreciated by myself and the students alike. However, from there, though I have not been working in the district for very long, I can say that Mark Welton and Patty Bullock have both been two of the band's biggest contributors to our recent success. While the band program has nearly doubled in size over the past year and a half, we did have a significant barrier to begin with: a lack of quality instruments. The students had the passion and they had the drive, but they lacked the financial means since instruments are quite expensive. Additionally, the instruments that we did have were, in some cases, held together by duct tape in the hopes that they would work again the next day we pulled them out of the case. Mark and Patty saw the growth that we were experiencing, and they saw the barrier that we faced. Since then, they have both helped to repair the instruments that we have and ensure that we have new working instruments for all of our students to be playing, in addition to the new drumline that got delivered today. Thank you for that. Furthermore, Mark has been a constant cheerleader for our band students. He has attended every single band concert in my time here at Bridgeport Schools. He has also been into my classroom on numerous occasions to tell the students what a good job he feels that they are doing. On top of all of this, he would even meet my high school band students outside on our walk to the football field and tell them how he's proud of the work that they've done reviving the marching band this year. Music and the arts as a whole are a crucial part of our students' opportunity for a well-rounded education. With that being said, I implore you to extend Mark Welton's and Patty Bullock's contracts. They are the champions that we need for our students' continued access to the arts and their well-rounded education. Thank you for your time.
Lon Miller? Is it Lon? You have an I there. Lon.
After attending last school board meeting and hearing that this board has spent over $25,000 in taxpayer money on board training, and then also witnessing the dysfunction of President Amy Morales, I decided to take a closer look at the MASB website, and in particular, their vision statement. What I immediately learned is that it is crucial for all board members, not just the president, to have open and effective communication with the superintendent and community members, and to define which education issues become priorities. Stating directly from the site, I quote, "As we all know, ill-informed efforts can be devastating to children, public education, and achievement. The stakes are simply too high for school board members not to engage in efforts," end quote. I am not only a former taxpayer and K through 12 alumni of Bridgeport, I have also been involved in the district more recently, attending games and helping with sporting events since Superintendent Welton took over. His work on building strong relationships with people, he works on building strong relationships with people. Being that the Bearcats are immediate neighbors of Frankenmuth, and due to my strong allegiance as an alum, I have a genuine vested interest in this district. Thanks to Superintendent Welton's commitment to building strong, positive relationships, our youth wrestling program and I have taken a personal stance in supporting not only our own kids in Frankenmuth, but the kids of Bridgeport as well. Our Frankenmuth Youth Organization even made a significant financial donation last year to the Bridgeport Youth Wrestling Program to ensure that all kids were able to participate and have wrestlers' gear. Without the good working relationships and community collaboration, these things just don't happen. Mark Welton is one of the best humans and easiest persons to ever work with. It appears that we have a corrupt school board president and some followers with an unknown agenda. You all need to get it together and work with the successful leader that you already have in place. I am embarrassed for you, and the fact that you don't seem to be embarrassed by your own actions says everything that the people need to know. The kids of this district depend on Superintendent Welton, and everyone depends on you getting it figured out tonight. Thank you.
Kamarion Woods and the athletes.
Good evening. I'm Kamarion Woods, and I'm here to speak from the Bridgeport athletes. On behalf of the student athletes from Bridgeport High School, we've come tonight to speak from the heart. Our superintendent has always been there for us. He shows up, supports our schools, supports our teachers, and our teams. He helped us create a positive environment that gives us hope and pride in where we come from. It's hard to understand why some people try so hard to change the culture. If everyone says they're here for the kids, then why does it feel like personal issues are getting in the way of what's best for us? We have a leader who believes in us and has helped build something good for our community. Please don't tear that down. Let's keep building for the students, for the schools, and for the future. You heard everyone that came before me. The real question is, do you really care about us, or is it about who has power over everyone? From Bridgeport athletes, thank you.
Mr. Eddie Fox.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eddie Fox. I've been living out here in Bridgeport for about 50 years. So a lot of you I don't know. Some of you might know me, may have heard of me. But I want to say thank you. It's hard to be on the board. Most people did not run for the board. They got appointed. So I know how that is for being on the board and serving, but at least you're serving. A lot of people don't serve. They just participate in different ways. But one thing I like, my comments here today is that a strong school stands for a strong township. Our township, I've been living here 50 years, our township, I want it to grow. I want it to continue to grow. And one of the things that help the township to grow is to hear of good news coming out of our school district. And maybe some of it I don't hear about. And some of the things I do hear about, I don't know whether these reports have been given, and it's been mentioned here today, is our absenteeism rate high, and what's being done to correct it? Maybe that information has been shared with the public already. And also, the comment has been made also about our test scores. Maybe there's some good news to talk about test scores and how we report the success of our students. Let us know, or let the public know. I know our news media is not like it used to be. So how are you getting that information out? Is it on a website or some social media? But we need to get that information out so people will know that Bridgeport have a strong school district, which means we'd like people to move to Bridgeport and live in Bridgeport. We'd like people to work in Bridgeport, but also invest their monies back in Bridgeport. Because when the eagle flies on Friday, we like the eagle to land, and people invest in Bridgeport so our township will grow. That's the way our township will grow. I know that you got a good fund balance, which is great. I'm glad to hear that. But how much of that fund balance was impacted by the fact that Buena Vista School District merged into Bridgeport? How many students from Buena Vista brought in state aid for the student count? Or how much of the BV tax dollars are really into that surplus? So those are kind of thoughts that my friends and I mention sometimes. How is that? You got a great surplus, which is great. Let's not blow it. Let's use it for student academic success, because as they compete against the state tests, standardized tests, that's what people look at our school district as it compares to the other 13 school districts in this county. So that's very important. I'm sure you have a surplus, and if we use that surplus to improve what's going on in our district. Got 13 seconds. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bob Aldrich.
Bob Aldrich, I've been teaching here 9 years. I'm not here to throw anything out at you as a board or as Mark. I'm here to tell you that you are a board of 7. You are a team of 8. You're not functioning as a team right now, and you are impacting our students. That's not okay. I've sat where you sat. I've had people come at me like you've come at you. It's time to set that pride aside and to look at what's best for our district. And what's best for our district is what's best for our kids. And we got to see that. You are each an individual board member with the same authority as each other. It's time you start using that to do what our kids need. If we cannot come together, I think somebody already said it, we will fall apart. A great man said that about our nation over 100-some years ago, and we darn near fell apart. But he brought us together. We need somebody on this board to bring us together, because right now, you are, if you do not know it, you are impacting this school, each of our schools, each of those kids, each of our teachers, each of our staff. We need to have stability at the top, at all levels, superintendent, board, our buildings, our teachers, and we'll bring students here. We are doing great things here. You have the newspaper from my production kids. Those are my kids that came up here. Please, do what's best for the school district. Open that negotiations. Get rid of the lawyer. Reach out to MASB if you want a negotiator, and do your job as board members. Let's bring the school back together before we fall apart. I don't want to be a part of a school district falling apart again. I've been there. Mr. Welton, Ms. Bullock brought us out of that with the help of all our staff. Let's come together. We're here. We're Bearcats. We're proud. Thank you.
Patrick Nelson.
Good evening. Patrick Nelson. I live on Homewood Drive here in Bridgeport. Moved here in 1991. Both our sons graduated from Bridgeport. I had the pleasure to serve on the board, the honor. At the time, I wasn't so sure. It was probably, as many of these folks back here can tell you, was probably the worst time this school district has ever experienced. We had to tell teachers they couldn't have a ream of paper to make copies to supply their students. It was horrible. Our meetings were so bad that we had to hold them in the auditorium. There was so much controversy, and it was really, really bad. It was bad for the students, it was bad for the community, and it was horrible for our employees. Without them, we would not have come out of deficit, by the way. The sacrifices they made were incredible. But what I heard last week, there's a couple of comments I have. I've had the pleasure of meeting with Mark Walden. I've met with Amy Morales. So tonight I don't have an opinion because I don't have all of the data. I'm somebody that deals with data and facts. But what I did hear last week was something that, as you go forward with whatever this contract says, was that Mr. Lang had an issue with some of the language. And when I hear that, my ears perk up because I've known Bob a long time. We served on the board together for 8 years. And when Bob says, hey, I have an issue with language, my ears perk up. So whatever you're going to do, if you're looking at this contract, whatever comments Mr. Lang had, I know he clarified how he stated them, but my guess is he had some issues with some of the language. It needs to be clear. The other thing that needs to be clear in the contract, and I don't care who the superintendent is making sure that there's accountabilities. The superintendent is the employee of the board. The superintendent has different relationships. The relationship with the board as his employer is different than what he has with the staff and the students and the community. It's a different relationship. And if you don't make the expectations clear, they're not agreed upon expectations. If those accountabilities aren't clear and agreed upon, we wind up in trouble. And I think if there's anybody in this room that can speak to that better than Mr. Lang, I'm not sure there is, because he has been through several superintendent controversies. And he knows exactly what I'm talking about. When this district went into trouble, it was because of poor leadership and management. So whatever you're going to do with this contract, you need to make sure all of that's in place. And if somebody like Bob Lang says, I have a problem with part of that language, you need to listen to it, because Bob is very analytical. When he says there's an issue with language, you need to listen to him. The other thing I want to say is this. This needs to get resolved. This is not healthy. It's not healthy for anybody in this room. It's certainly not healthy for the community. It's very troubling to me as a resident. And one way or the other, it needs to get resolved. neither Mark, I want to say for the audience, neither Mark nor Amy told me anything they weren't supposed to tell me, so I can't speak to what you should do, other than it needs to get resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Remington Milana.
My name is Remington, and I am a straight A student. My mom has told me many stories about the past and how the school was, and from what he told me, it was rough back then. Then Mr. Walton came. We have been able to go to awesome places on field trips because of him. And it is the reason why I told my mom that I don't want to leave here. And the 3 board members who want to re-sign this contract, thank you. But the other 4 of you guys are a disgrace to the school district. What we need is at least one of you 4 to sign his contract. And I would like to add, I came from Lincoln Park Schools where I was failing and bullied daily to where I didn't want to go to school anymore.
Sarah Garner.
Good evening, members of the board, staff, and community. My name is Sarah Garner. I am a proud voter in this district, a mom of 4 kids. 3 of my children currently attend Bridgeport schools, and my oldest just graduated in 2025. I am here tonight because I deeply care about the direction of our schools and the people leading them. Let me be clear, our Superintendent, Mark Welton, has done the work. We have seen better communication with families, stronger community engagement, and a renewed sense of stability that the district has desperately needed. Parents like me actually feel heard, and that hasn't always been the case in Bridgeport. Mark Welton shows up, he listens, and he leads with consistency. That is rare. And it's exactly what our kids, teachers, and family deserve. As a mom and a taxpayer and a voter of Spalding Township, I am watching this decision very closely, and I am not the only one. If the board chooses to not renew his contract, it sends a message to the families that progress and stability don't matter. And I will be honest, as a voter, that will absolutely influence how I vote when it's your seats on the line. Bridgeport has finally started moving forward. Please do not be the ones to throw it backwards. Thank you for listening.
Lauren Minev.
Good evening. My name is Lauren Miner. I stand up here as a current resident of this district for almost 60 years. I am a former Bridgeport Bearcat, class of '83. I have children that has graduated from the school, and I have grandchildren currently attending this school. 5 of them, to be exact. One of them coming back in 2020, or starting in 2026. I've seen a lot of changes over the years, some good, some not. By far, the best changes have come from that man right there, Mark Welton. A man who not only shows up for his staff and his students, but also his community. He is the reason my granddaughter is back in the school district. If it wasn't for Mark and his staff bringing the virtual online schooling to Bridgeport, my granddaughter would be a year behind in her school, after being tossed aside by our lovely racist Bertrand. He may not be perfect, sorry, but how many of you up there are? Whew. Can you tell me the last time any of you have walked the halls of this Bridgeport school? Apparently not, because you just had to be invited. How many of our students know you by name or by face? Oh, good Lord. How many of you have attended any of the community events or the sporting events? I haven't seen any of you. What are you doing to this man of the school district is ridiculous. You're wasting not only time and money to do what? Waste more time and money to replace somebody who is irreplaceable. Please sign the stamp contract.
John Spicco.
Good evening, board, community. I'm actually John Spicco, Leadership Connections, working with superintendents across the state, and I'm actually shocked right now that we are here doing this again, because with you, each of you, I've heard many things tonight from the community, especially about board relations. You all are board certified, which is very commendable and recommendable, actually. But I think somewhere in that training, there was a misunderstanding. Because as board members, you not only are allowed to communicate with your superintendent, but you really do have an obligation to speak with your superintendent and to work with him. And I've heard others say that there's a responsibility on the part of the superintendent to communicate with you. But I think over the last 2 meetings, it has become crystal clear that integrity, honesty, love of students, love of this community has come across overwhelmingly crystal clear. Now, I have had the opportunity to watch Mr. Welton present on behalf of the Bridgeport Public Schools at superintendent conferences numerous times in the state of Michigan and in Colorado. This man speaks nationally with love and passion for this community. And to have him going through what we're seeing here is just really shocking, because there are boards of education around this state who will take him in a heartbeat, because they know what he's done. They know how he's done it with compassion and love and care. He knows everybody in this community. He gives up his personal life to be at every activity because it's that important to him. To give that much to each of you, and for you to not individually sit down and speak with him, is really missing the boat of what all your MASB training is all about. If you're going to sit in these seats, you have an obligation to the people in this room and in this community. You are hearing from them. They are taking a Monday night to be here to share their love and compassion for that man who has transformed this district.
Tracy Barker.
Good evening. My name is Tracy Barker, also known as Miss B, and I'm the secretary at Thomas White Elementary. For months now, we have witnessed an overwhelming show of support for Mr. Welton and Patty Bullock. Community members, students, and staff have spoke clearly and passionately in favor of renewing their contracts. Despite all that, our board president, Amy Morales, continues to push forward with her personal agenda that does not reflect the will of the people she represents. Mark Welton has earned the trust and respect of the community and district through his dedication, transparency, vision, and for improving our district. Yet none of that matters because we have a board president that does not care. Amy Morales does not care about our kids, our community, our staff of this district. For months, she has refused to negotiate their contracts because of her own personal feelings. Instead, she is using thousands of the district's money to use the district's lawyers to do her job. Amy Morales has used thousands of the district's money to go on board retreats to train her to do that said job. Yet she continues to show her true incompetence during our board meetings when she still has to ask how to run a board meeting and when she continues to break board policy. Tonight, it is time for you, Ms. Morales, to step down. Our kids, our community, and our staff deserve leadership that listens, collaborates, and truly puts our students first. Mr. Welton does his job fighting for and helping our kids believe in a dream to be something great through their learning experience, because that is the job of a superintendent, to inspire and help our kids believe that anything is possible if they work hard enough. Well, now it's the time we fight as well for our kids. Regardless of what happens with Mr. Welton's contract, if you refuse to step down tonight, you will get the fight of your life, Amy. My job as a secretary is to protect my babies first and foremost, and let me tell you, I take that job very seriously. I am the first face the parents see, and I'm the first one they talk to, and I will make sure our voters know the name Amy Morales and what you stand for. Manipulation and lies can only take you so far, Miss Morales. Darkness is always brought to light. Isn't that right, Amy? Or should I say Amelia Morales? So tonight, right now, it is time to finally do what is right and step down. Our kids deserve a board president that listens, collaborates, and fights, and truly puts students first. Walk away with whatever dignity you have left because we see you for what you are, and we aren't going anywhere. You do not represent us, and you do not align with our Bearcat motto, which is no barriers, just possibilities. You are the barrier, and we will make sure that barrier is removed.
Jen Seymour.
Amy, last week I was here. You called out people's names, then you asked, or you said their city as if they're, are you listening to me? Seemed a little occupied. I'm trying to talk to you because I think what you did to everybody last week was very disrespectful. You made them, the people that send their kids here, whether they're in the city or living, paying taxes, it doesn't matter. They're bringing their kids here. Your school gets money for those kids. Maybe everybody can't live here. They came like when BV closed down, and so they're bringing their kids here. I graduated in 1991 here. My mom lives here. I have vested interest in the school district. I love Bridgeport. I had my son here until 3rd grade. I moved because it was so bad. You should care about everybody that has an opinion. And Carmen, you said something last week that your daughter, the teachers were telling kids these things, and she came home and said their school was going to close or something. Kids do make up things. Don't believe everything a kid says, okay? I'm just saying, you have this community that wants Mark to be the superintendent still, and he has brought this school. If back when my kid was in 3rd grade, if he would have been here, I would have stayed. But it wasn't like this, so I went to Birch Run, where he graduated from. And then I moved on even further. But the problem is that I don't like how, this isn't a school board. I've been to many school boards. This is kind of a joke. And I came, this is my 2nd time, and I'll keep coming as many meetings as we have to keep him in. Do I have a minute? Okay, I have still a whole minute. I'll keep rambling on. I'll keep coming. So will these guys, and I think that there's going to be more. Why would the board not want to listen to the community? That should matter to each and every one of you who said no for that contract. If it's what's in the contract you don't like, if you need to talk about it, talk. You're not talking. I don't understand that. That seems to me there's some ulterior motives. Seems to me that there is a reason behind it. Why would you not want to keep somebody that has turned the school district around? I love Bridgeport. My mom lives here. I love coming back to my old town. I want to see it thrive. I don't want to see it buried again. I don't want to hear that they are going to go or shut the school down like they did BV, because that's what will probably happen if you don't really think about this and sign his contract. I have 12 seconds. Let's see. I think that you should, the kids love him. The teachers, I've never seen a school community come to a board and want their,
Robert Shavnock.
I am Robert Chavanaugh, and I'm here to support Mr. Walton fully. This is the heart of a damn Bearcat. You wouldn't know nothing about that, all right? Ms. Castillo, you know a little bit about that. You're in the schools. I get that. But you quit hiding behind her. You're a grown adult. You can make your own decisions. Do it. Now, everybody else, we're all here for the same reason, to keep him. What has he done wrong? Nothing. He's brought the schools back to where they're supposed to be, and they're still going up. Now, 2 weeks ago, you did the worst thing you could ever do. You made my kids cry. That's a bad, bad thing. You don't do that. And I'm sure most of these other parents here will say the same damn thing. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, I got a lot to say, and get a couple minutes left. But everything that he's done, he's brought all our schools back into where they're supposed to be. He does a lot of stuff for the community. What do? Nothing. But no, that's the way it is. When I was here, I graduated in 1989. Our superintendent was non-existent, and I'm sure most of the alum can say that. But he's been there for everybody. He's there for my daughters. Now, him and my daughter, Emily, they have annual pictures every year. Can you say that about any other superintendent? No, you can't, because you really don't care. You really don't. Now, the rest of you, some of you guys are doing a great job, but quit hiding behind her. You guys are grown adults. Make the right decisions and quit hiding behind somebody that's acting like a tyrant. But we don't need that. And like everybody else is saying, Ms. Morales, you need to step off. You really do. Because if there was a way to recall you, we would. But you have not enough time left in to do it. Otherwise, your name would be on the chopping block also. And I hope you realize that. Yeah, you have an election coming up. Good luck. You ain't gonna be there. You're gonna be like BV. Yeah, our kids are all gonna be here. Where are you gonna be? Gone. Thank you.
Megan Nobis.
I was sent a letter from a past board member, just so you're aware. My name is Natalie Johnson. You're a former fellow trustee of the Board of Education. I am writing you to address a matter of great importance: the extension of Mr. Mark Welton's contract as superintendent of the Bridgeport School District. Since 2018, Mr. Welton has established himself as a dedicated and transformative leader, not only within Bridgeport Spalding, but also across Saginaw County. He has worked tirelessly to improve our district ensuring that students, teachers, and faculty and staff are treated with dignity, respect, while their education and operational needs are met. Mr. Welton has consistently made himself available before, during, and after school hours to maintain a safe, secure, and forward-moving school environment. During his tenure, Mr. Welton has presented numerous opportunities to the board to enhance student learning through technological advancements, global learning experiences, and innovative academic programs, all designed to prepare our students to success beyond the classroom. Under his leadership, the district has flourished. He empowers teachers, staff, administrators, and with the autonomy to make meaningful decisions, fostering a culture that makes Bridgeport not only a sought-after district for families, but also a rewarding place to work. Perhaps most importantly, the students know who he is. He takes time to talk to them, to listen, and to teach, and understanding the young people grow through teachable moments and second chances. Beyond his administration duties, Mr. Welton has immersed himself in the life of the district, from dressing as Santa at the annual Christmas event, to the leading homecoming parades, to attending both boys and girl games, supporting cheer competitions. His presence is consistent, genuine, and impactful. His visibility and engagement are rare for someone in his position. And that connection to the school community is truly invaluable. I urge the board to consider the strides Mr. Welton has made and the positive direction in which he has led the district. I challenge you to set aside your personal biases and focus on the measurable and meaningful progress under his leadership. From my experience as a former board member, I understand that limitations placed on any superintendent, especially regarding test scores and factors beyond local control. Please take into account the full picture, the culture he has built, the trust he has earned, and the hope he continues to inspire in students, parents, and staff alike.
Vanessa Smith.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Vanessa Smith. I'm a former student and now a teacher in Bridgeport Spalding Community Schools. I'm here again tonight because I believe in the direction the district has taken under Superintendent Welton's leadership and with the help of Patty Bullock, making sure our finances are where they need to be. Over the past 7 years, we've seen improved student achievement, new programs, better communication, budget stability, and morale. More importantly, Superintendent Welton has restored a sense of trust, direction, and care for our students and staff. Stability and leadership is critical to sustaining growth. Your failure to negotiate with Superintendent Welton has threatened that stability and created a lot of unnecessary anxiety in this district. To say that negotiations are ongoing is not true because there have been no negotiations. Changing course now would risk losing the momentum we've built and could make us lose our momentum we've built and could send a troubling message to families, educators, and community partners who have worked hard to move our district forward. What we need right now is stability restored and a shared commitment to progress, not division. Superintendent Welton has consistently demonstrated integrity, vision, and genuine concern for our students and staff. This is the kind of leadership we should see and be building on, not pushing away. I know it's not easy to make decisions that please everyone, but what matters most here is what's best for our kids. And continuing the continuity of strong leadership is what's best for our kids. I urge this board to set aside all personal feelings and recognize the good work that's being done and focus on what's right for our students and our community. We are asking you to stand with us, to stand with progress, and to stand with Superintendent Welton and Chief Financial Officer Patty Bullock. Thank you for your time and your service to our district.
Jenny Roche.
Hi, I have been a Bearcat for the last 7.5 years, along with our 5 children. Ms. Morales, When you do a job that requires so much of a person, way more of your time often goes into your job than your family. Our family has supported Mark and shared him with the families of Bridgeport because that's what families do. And our family is one with the Bearcat family. This job consumes Mark's time nearly 24/7. I can tell you, we have never taken a family vacation or any personal time where there isn't a text, email, or phone call where there is something this Bearcat family isn't in need of. With that said, it's been a beautiful 7 years. Mark takes care of this Bearcat family with pride, and our family supports that. Since January, when Amy Morales took over as school board president, it has been complete chaos. For unknown reasons, Amy Morales has created immense division. She is prioritizing her own personal agenda over the best interest of the students and the school's success. She is engaging in extreme micromanagement and unprofessional conduct. She fails to provide unified, transparent, and collaborative leadership. Amy Morales is destroying the no barriers, just possibility of vision of the Bearcat family. I absolutely do not understand why she would immediately, on day one of her presidency, use her position of power to work so hard at deconstructing a school that has been on a strong upward trend on every level for the last 7.5 years. Now I would like to talk to the specific school board members who absolutely refuse to communicate or work with Superintendent Welton. Let's think about this. What if, when this school board took over in January under the direction of Amy Morales, you would have invested time developing a relationship and good communication with Mr. Welton? It would have given you a chance to learn the inner workings of the school while developing a human relationship with Mr. Welton, along with developing a shared vision through collaborative goal setting. Instead, you have refused to meet or communicate with him at all. Carmen? You mentioned last meeting that you joined the school board to be more involved with the district, but you have absolutely refused to do that. What if, along with going to multiple board meet trainings to learn board policy, spending thousands in taxpayer dollars, what if you would have also taken the time right here in your district to learn about the inner workings that make the whole wheel spin? A school district is a multi-million-dollar organization. Board policy is not the only thing that needs to be learned and focused on. What if we could go back to January and instead of digging in so deep at icing out the superintendent, you would have just opened communication?
Okay.
That's
All righty. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Deanna Hess or Rachel?
Mrs. Morales, I would say that.
So
my
Deanna
family
Hess,
actually-
Rachel? So, Deanna Hess, Rachel?
I attended Bridgeport Spalding Schools K through 12 and graduated from BHS in 2006. Following my graduation, I have been a parent of children in the district for the past 16 years. My youngest is school of choice and commutes from Hemlock. I joined the Bearcat family as a parapro 14 years ago. I have been a Bearcat my entire life, and because of that, I have had the privilege to view this district in many different aspects. I have seen many leaders come and go over the years. None of them have compared to Mr. Welton. I can honestly say that I have never met a more present superintendent who has advocated so hard for our students, our staff, and for our community. He has gone above and beyond his typical job duties. Our district has never had this before. Why fix something that isn't broken? Please listen to your community and to the staff members in your district. Do what is right for our students and renew Mr. Welton's contract, or please step down. My vote may not count in Bridgeport anymore, but if this board can't make the right decisions for our district, my voice will be heard through my mom, my sister, my grandmother, my oldest child, several cousins and friends who still reside in Bridgeport. They will help me fight for my children, because in this district, there will be no barriers, just possibilities.
Dempsey Allen.
Hello, my name is Dempsey Allen. I'm pastor emeritus of Jacob's Ladder Church in Saginaw, and I was a school board member for 10 years, 2013 through 23. The things that I wanted to say regarding Mark have been said by so many other people. I don't need to repeat them. I think that they've come across very clearly. What I do want to say, however, is I know that the board has the prerogative to make a decision of keeping him or not. If your decision is not to keep him, then the concern of the community is that you tell us why. Because everything that I've heard today said keep him. So if that's not going to be the policy, make sure that you tell us why. That's thing one. Thing two, when the meeting started, we came in and we all did the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance has a line in it, a phrase added in 1954 by the President Dwight Eisenhower. He added by executive order, to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God. My question, because how does God operate? What does God do? How are we understanding and doing the will of God in this situation? So that's the question I have for the board. Are you under God, or is it just something that you're used to saying? Thanks.
Karina Evans.
My name is Karina Evans. I, first of all, want to say thank you, Mark. I didn't know who you were when the first time we had our conversation. I am a single grandma raising 5 grandchildren in this district. And two of them were severely traumatized before he came to me. He is in this district. I moved the other children out because I did not want them in this district. I was raised in Detroit, where this school board literally destroyed the school I went to, the whole city. My parents moved me out, and I had to work twice as hard to graduate, not because of me, but because the school board and how they allocated the funds. I did not want that to happen to my grandchildren. Gabe is in the school district, and I had a conversation with Mark at one of his wrestling meetings, and I was concerned because I'm afraid my grandson's going to end up either dead or in jail because of his trauma. And Mark said something to me that was pretty profound, and he said to me, everybody incubates at different stages. And I thought that was pretty weird, to be honest with you. And I thought it was funny until it wasn't. And Gabe may not be where he's supposed to be today, but Gabe is where much better place than he was 2 years ago. Not just because of your leadership, but because of the trickle effect. And as I was sitting here, I was thinking, what can I possibly say that people haven't already said about you that is so profound? And I don't have that other than my personal experience. But I did think of something that was kind of an eye-opener for me, and that is, I'm addressing a school where something doesn't add up. It doesn't add. I'm thinking in my mind, I've got a grandson who's doing better. I've got a leader I see everywhere, and I had no idea who you were. And I'm thinking, who is this blonde guy who's running around with some of my kids all the time? And it was our superintendent who knew my child's name, because he may be my grandson, but he's my son. He's my son. And it doesn't add up to me how in a school system where we teach our children math.
Charles Castell.
Evening, my name is Charles Castell, and I just want to give a big thanks to Mr. Welton. Thank you for being the amazing superintendent that I never had before. Thank you for giving me the amazing teachers that I thought I'd never have. Amazing extra curriculum that I never thought I'd be in. Thank you. That's all I have to say. And all you gotta do is renew.
Board member. Comments. Board member. All righty. Item number 5, any agenda adjustments?
Yes.
Excuse me. Did all the cards get an opportunity to speak?
Public comment. Board members cannot make a public comment.
Am I not a citizen?
Board members cannot make a public comment.
Is that an
You're not-
Amy rule or is that a rule of law?
It's a Brad Banasic rule from MASB. So board members cannot make public comment, and luckily, that Bridgeport has comments on the agenda still at this time.
Well, I'm going to at least register a protest that you're overstepping your bounds, but
Okay. And you are out of order. So any agenda adjustments? Any agenda adjustment?
Yes. First one is remove Miss Morales as a board president. No.
please.
Elect of another board president. Removal of Truen Law Firm as a negotiator and a legal counsel. I'm so nervous.
Negotiator.
So was there a motion made for an agenda adjustment?
I want a motion.
We'll give it to you in writing.
Are you going to let me finish, Amy?
Are these separate?
You have to do them separately.
These are separate.
Okay, that's what.
That's what we're asking about the motion. You have to do it separate.
I am saying them separate. Pay attention.
So one at a time.
I am saying it one at a time, Amy. What is it you're not understanding?
You have to actually vote on them one at a time.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Okay, go ahead. Make your agenda adjustments.
I will.
Okay.
Removal of trend, oh, I already said that. Review and approve of superintendent and CFO contracts.
Next item, clarification of board policy under President's Authority, Section 1001. Next item, limitation of educational expenses for board member certification. Next item, resolution of censure for board member Morales. They have presented to you in writing.
Okay,
You have them?
Do you want me to pass this out?
you're going to give them to, oh,
Please note that they are
So-
immediately following the agenda adjustments and will be placed, hopefully, respectfully, next.
so there has been agenda adjustments for a motion for removal of current board president. There is a motion by Bieski.
No, excuse me. We are asking that these be added to the agenda. They are to be completed, and then a motion to accept the amended agenda or not.
Yes, the agenda adjustment. The
We are
first
not to
one
vote on
is,
these independently. That is paramount to voting on them
so
without
you want
discussion.
every single one for the agenda adjustment, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
There's 6.
You have more copies?
5. You actually have 7.
Fine, there's 7.
You have 7 agenda adjustments here that have been presented. Oh,
That's correct.
is there a second for the 7 agenda adjustments to be made?
Support.
Second.
Discussion on the agenda adjustments. Well, everyone, if you want to take a minute and look through those, please. Any questions?
Make comments. Discussion. Ask if this is discussion period.
Now, is this a discussion, Amy?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to point out facts, not rumors. Rumors should have never, ever been a part of if Mark and Patty's contract to be renewed. And that's what happened to this board. They heard rumors that we don't know if they're true or not, but we believed them because we came from somebody that we thought we were trusting. But after reading some emails and her denying these rumors, came right to my attention. So when we vote on the facts, not the rumors. Fact one, at our last board meeting, Pat himself got up to that stand. He said he was a former board member who called Mark himself and asked him to put an application in. Pat is a very respectable man, and Pat would do what he knows he needed to do to save this school. And did he? Yes. He called Mark. Mark put in his application. Mark was hired. Him and Patty saved us from drowning. We would not be sitting here today if it wasn't for Mark and Patty. That is a fact. Oh, I'm sorry. What upsets me the most, after that last meeting, it just hit me that this was a personal vendetta. This had nothing to do with Mark or Patty's performance. That is sad, that you put a personal vendetta first before you put our kids and our community first. If it wasn't for Pat and Mark saving our school from drowning, we would not even be here sitting today.
I'm going to ask that board members who are following the lead of others without exercising your own independent judgment, I'm going to remind you that you took an oath of office to faithfully discharge the duties of your office to the best of your ability. Following without inquiry is not leadership, it's abdication of your responsibilities. The public trust placed in you deserves discernment, not subservience. I would ask that you please act with integrity, courage, and fidelity associated with your responsibilities on this board. Are we ready to call the question?
Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, in order to have the agenda adjusted with the 7 items listed, we'll take a vote if we're going to accept the agenda as is or add the new ones. Robin?
Hold on, the motion on the floor is to adopt the agenda as amended.
Yeah, but
No buts. That
We
was the
have
motion
not-
that's on the floor.
the motion on the floor is to add the agenda, to change and add these adjustments. Take a vote.
Proceed.
The vote.
Mr. Sawatsky,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Ms. Bieschke,
Yes.
Ms. Irby,
Yes.
Ms. Castillo,
No.
Mrs. Bramesy,
Of course.
No.
Ms. Morales.
No.
We have we have 4 yes votes and 3 opposed.
Motion passed.
So motion passed to add these agenda items to the current agenda on 05, and we are going to do each individual one right now before we continue on.
I'll give it to you later.
So Robin, it would be from 5, and just go ahead, A, B, C, with each one. So there is a recommended action to remove the current board president.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion on that individual one?
Yes. A board president should never, ever tell another board member not to respond to Mark's email when it's asking us to respond. Nor should she ever, or he, ever, tell them if they can or cannot respond, or what to respond, or how to respond. That is unethical. To me, when a president has to do that, is because she's scared of something. Just listen, please. Amy talks about Mark spending money. And I've went to Mark and I asked him if I could see the finance, because I wanted to see how much money we were spending on Truan Law Firm. Amy spent over $14,000 she gave to that law firm. Why? Because she asked Mark if she could see his contract. She just wanted to see it. Mark, can you please explain to us why she could not just see that contract?
The board is a
Anyone have-
board of.
Hold on.
Amy, shut up.
No, you have to follow the rules. And the rules are.
Not your rules.
We
Amy.
are, no,
I
you're
asked-
right.
I
They
asked Mark a
are
question.
the
Let
laws,
him
and Brad
finish.
Banasic is who I'm following. So you need to stop. You're out of order.
No,
Out of
you are
order.
out of order.
Out of order.
Mark, please
Does
explain
anyone
to
have
us.
any objection to Mark answering Tammy's question?
No. Because we all want to
So,
understand.
out of the board. The board are the only people who can answer. Are you guys okay with Mark answering
I don't have an objection.
Tammy's question? Is there any objection?
Please, Mark,
Okay,
go ahead.
Mark.
Continue.
You can answer Tammy's question.
We operate in a committee of the whole. That was a decision made by this board in January. You might recall that I cautioned the board on doing so. The reality is, if I give my contract to one board member, then that's one board member that knows something that none of the other board members are aware of. Had we operated in a committee, the committee would sit down, look at the contract, negotiate the contract, and then make the recommendation to the board as a whole. Because that is not the case, handing a negotiable contract to one singular board member leaves all the rest of the board members in the dark. And that's been happening. So this particular contract, when she asked me specifically, just her to look at the contract, I said no. That's unethical to give one person something on a board of 7 that the rest do not. And we're not talking about a motion. We're talking about a contract. It's personal to me. It's personal to Patty. That's why Amy cannot see the contract by herself. Everybody can see it. I offered that. You guys took that opportunity. I offered that in June, and the opportunity was motioned off of that. And so that opportunity was actually out there in June. A committee of the whole, in order to see anything, has to make a motion first to get to discussion, just like you did tonight. And so by motioning to remove it from the agenda, there is no discussion, and there would be no presentation of the contract to the whole board. And that is what happened in June. The idea that it was something nefarious or there was something sneaky about it, that's because I'd been asking Amy for a couple of months to get that contract in the hands of the board, to have a committee. I got the receipts on that. I have the emails, I have the information that goes along with that. And in doing so, by saying no committee, and letting me know there is no committee, we're not going to have a committee, we will not have a committee, putting it on the agenda was the only way for the board to be able to see the contract. And the very person that wanted to see the contract is the exact person that made the motion in June to remove it from the agenda. And so that is why I'm not sharing it with one board member.
Okay.
And as you were told, Tammy,
And-
that Truan called, never spoke to them, and
No.
they said, hey, there's some red flags, you need to table this, you need to do this until
Let me
we
hear
can
from
talk.
them. Let me hear from them. I don't believe anything you say, Amy.
Okay.
All right?
Absolutely.
Now-
Let's do another opinion from them.
Now,
And
to redo what Mark said about that motion that Amy put in, I'm partly at fault as well. Okay? Amy isn't on that one alone. Amy came to me and said, Tammy, I'm going to put this motion in. I need you to second it. I thought she was doing something. I didn't know she was doing something that was going to hurt this community or hurt Mark. I thought she had the best interest in heart. So I second that motion. That's why it didn't go through. Mark, I apologize because I thought Amy was an honest person. She was not. I should have never seconded that motion if I knew this is what she was up to. She did that, I feel, because she wanted to get it into the hands of the attorneys, because the only one that can talk to the attorney is Amy, unless they redo a meeting to all. So that's why there's over $4,000, is because Amy had to spend at least $2,000. Remember, within 4 months, she got that up to over $4,000, $14,000. You divide that up between 4 months, that's like 2,000 or something. Okay? That was never brought to our attention. Amy has been doing things that were unethical, against policy, and against the law. And she can sit here and she can point and she can say whatever she wants. The truth and the facts are here. Amy needs to be removed. We need somebody that's going to be honest, open, and make sure everything comes to our attention. And Amy can't say she does it because right into something on superintendent's update. Mark mentioned about the FOIA request. Amy's response is to work and talk to her about it. She will decide if it's board needed to be privy to specific matters or not. So that means she will choose to bring up to what she thinks we should know. No, we are a board in whole, and that's the way it should be. When Pat was the president, we never, ever had this happen. I could talk to Mark, I could email Mark, and it was never an issue. I responded to an email that Mark sent us. I get a phone call from Amy. Why did you respond to Mark's email? Because he asked. Well, you're supposed to go through me first. She was the first to ever tell me that. Pat never told me that. Bob never told me that. The communication between a superintendent and a board member is very important, and we learn that from our classes. You need to go back and read what you were taught. It's critical that we all have a relationship with Mark. And we all, as a board member in whole, should know everything that goes on, not with what the president decides and think we should know. Bob, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I think you've encapsulated it quite well. Thank you. No, you've done.
Because I'm about ready to cry.
Oh, you're doing a great job. Thank you.
So.
Call the
Okay.
question, please.
Pardon me? You getting ready to talk, Bob?
Pardon?
You getting ready to talk?
No, I called the question.
Oh,
That's out of order. The discussions, the board still gets to discuss.
Would like to say
Do
something.
you understand Robert's rules?
Yeah, do you understand that I literally am following everything from the lawyer's legal advice?
You always say that, Amy.
Because
So
I
bring,
am,
no.
obviously. You know what, Tammy, you even said, oh, you've never had these type of discussions when Bob, because Bob used to
Right.
let Mark do everything he wants. Bob never told us anything.
Well, that's
A lot,
not
over and over, self-preservation.
You even said it.
Brentoya's trying to talk. Let Brentoya talk. Don't be rude. Let her talk.
As far as the classes that we've taken at MASB, it has been said repeatedly that the board is the governance body. And it has, in what class was that? I've said quite a few. The board is a governance body. We are not here to be friends with the superintendent. We're to get along as one. We're to move as one. They do discourage individual relationships because that can cloud your judgment, your decision-making. They do say that. One of the classes was overseeing the superintendency. Also, as far as involving Truan, Tammy, who involved Truan?
Amy did.
You
No,
were
Amy
there
told
and
Mark.
heard. You
No.
heard
Amy
how Truan
told,
became involved.
You did not
because it was
listen.
said. So I've heard it
Okay,
being
and
said,
so did we.
So did you. It
Amy
was
told
not.
Mark,
We were
shouldn't our attorney take a look at your contract?
We were
She could have
told by
kept
the lawyer
that contract
who said,
out.
who brought it.
Again, Amy told Mark, after Mark told her no, that she could not see it,
That's
that an
not the steps that
attorney,
happened that way. I
that
didn't ask for the
attorney
contract
should
till
look at the contract. That's why Mark sent it over. Now, if Amy would have not talked me into second that motion, that contract, those contracts, both their contracts, would have came up in front of us, not to the attorneys.
The contract was tabled at that time because of the teachers' contracts being negotiated.
We did the teachers first.
Right, and it was
Then
still going on.
Mark's.
It was still going on at that time. That it was-
Superintendent's contract was tabled unilaterally by the board president.
because the teachers' contracts were
And per
still
legal
being
counsel
negotiated.
advisement. I have never spoken to them. They reached
We
out on a
did the
Monday, 2
attorney's
hours
contract
before the
first.
meeting, and said hi, introduced himself, and said, this is what you're going to do. I had no clue why. And that was June 23rd. And that was the meeting that I had no clue why I was being advised to do what I had to do by district lawyers, but I did, because I'm not going to go against the law with the district lawyers when they're saying one thing. The other, and You even apologized, Bob, and said after you met with the lawyers, you even apologized and said if you would have known that back then, you wouldn't have said the things you did. You would have absolutely agreed, and they were right. You even apologized, saying you were sorry for your part in that, for yelling and for being disrespectful. And you
did
said
not
you were going
yell.
to give Mark an earful.
Okay, every once in a while I have a lapse of judgment. I suppose I shouldn't have apologized because at the time it seemed like the right thing to do, for which I am now sorry.
Okay,
But
that's
Yeah,
fine.
we all are. Yep.
at the end of the
Every
day,
time.
this discussion can go on ad nauseum, but what's really at the root is when are you going to call the question?
You cannot call to question until after
I'm
all of
asking-
the board. That is out of order. That is the rules. That's out of order.
And it's hard to negotiate something that keeps changing every time it comes in front of you.
There were multiple, and you even heard him say that. All of you heard him say that. Heard the lawyers even say that there was different contracts already presented.
Yep.
And at the last meeting, I asked you, Bob, can we still negotiate? And before we even finished the meeting, before we did our vote, I asked Mr. Welton, are you willing to negotiate? And he said, yes, but only with a lawyer present. So he is the one that's been adamant about having lawyers present during this process. And then now you're telling us to not have lawyers present.
Now, remember, everybody was here last meeting.
Right, and
And
this is-
I said to Mark, so you are saying you'll negotiate your contract with us in front of all these people?
Did he respond?
And he said yes.
As long as.
No, he never said anything about, I'm serious, Carmen, listen.
He did.
No, everybody out here
Because he
will
said
tell you. He never said with attorney.
Remember, hold
never
on, one
said
at a
that.
time. Only remember.
It is not normal.
Discussion,
Do a
discussion.
The board.
No.
Our contract was not.
Right,
being
board discussion.
No, he never said with his attorney. It was either vote to have to do his contract right then and there or keep it in the attorney's hands, and you guys voted to keep it in the
actually
attorney's
said
hand instead of doing
What I
it
said,
now.
and if I can speak, what I said is I'll never go into a meeting like we had with three board members and myself and go through 3 hours and 10 minutes of not an actual negotiation without a lawyer. I'll never do that again. But I did say that I would negotiate right here, right now, in front of everybody, even though it's never been done in the state of Michigan before like this.
Yes.
I would do it and go through it because this needs to end. It needs to end. This is, if you took yourself outside of your body for a minute and set yourself up here and watched all of what's going on right now, it is A, embarrassing, and B, completely has been unnecessary. None of this is actually necessary. We could have went through this contract months ago. You could have went through the contract in June. The reason the contract changes is you didn't accept the contract in June. You know what? The next time you looked at it was September. You know what happened between June and September? You negotiated and agreed to, without discussion, administrator contracts, teacher contracts. If you didn't like the contract that was in September and you actually liked the one in June, that would have been a good time to do it in June. But things changed. Now we get it pushed back because Amy canceled the negotiation that we had set for September 10th. Said, nope, we can't. We got to do it in public according to the lawyer in the Supreme Court ruling, and we don't have a state budget. Neither of those make any sense because we didn't have a state budget when we did a multi-million-dollar teacher contract, and the same for administrators. But okay, let's wait. And then on October 10th, after the governor signs the bill, the budget, it's all set. Okay, let's do negotiations. Oh, no, we got to get another opinion. We've been getting opinions since June. How many opinions do you need? When you came in my office, you had 15 pages thick of true law opinion, right? And I can honestly say, and Pat's right here, and Bob's here, everybody's here that's been in negotiations over the years, We haven't ever needed to do that. It's
Does
pretty
anyone
simple.
have an objection to Pat responding to that? Does anyone on the board have a rejection to Pat responding to a question in regards to the contracts and? No? Pat, if you want to respond, Mark said even Pat knows that you don't have the lawyers
So
involved.
is this not any more out of order than me asking a question?
Yes, exactly. Oh, my
So if there is an objection to Pat discussing what's happened,
Pat, come on up.
No, hold on, excuse
we
me,
can make a motion.
excuse me. You're calling a point of order and you're using it judiciously however you seem fit.
We can ask questions. That's why I'm
Mr.
telling
Nelson
the
is
board,
here.
is there an objection? If there is an objection, then in order for someone else to answer a question outside of the 7 board members, then we would take a motion.
Fine.
Is there an objection?
Come on up, Pat.
Okay.
So
Mark,
I understand that the question is related to how previous negotiations, contract negotiations were conducted? Is that the question?
you're saying Pat?
I believe so. I don't know when
You
I was
said Pat
stopped.
can,
You're asking me to comment on something in the context of what Mark said. What is it?
you brought up Pat's name and you said, even when Pat was here, you said,
Okay, so I know what you're looking for now. Mark's correct. So when we were finally in a position to look at making our instructional staff and the rest of our staff whole, and looking at doing some other things, we set reserves for technology, roof replacement, so on. This was before COVID money, even before I think we even looked at taking out the loan for building improvements. We did not need a lawyer. We took a shot and we brought the unions in and we were able to negotiate those contracts without any legal input until I think at the end, we sent them to the attorney just to make sure all the legalese were correct, right?
Correct.
Other than that, we did not use any attorneys, and that was the first time that I was aware of that we did that. Now, I don't know what's happened since I left the board, but when I was on the board, we did our contracts without any legal input.
did you have committees?
We did, but it was myself, it was Mark, it was Patty, it was the BEA, it was the 2 unions that brought representation in. As I recall, I think I was the only board member that was on the negotiating team, right? I don't think.
Correct.
We had a second one. So yeah, it was me as the president. Only when I was the president did I do that. So
So
how
there's,
many contract? I think that was two contracts?
Total that, with you, we did 2 teacher contracts plus the BAPA contracts,
Yeah, that
2
sounds
BAPA
right.
contracts.
He's right, we did not.
And 2 steelworker contracts as well. So
Yeah.
6 total.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Pat.
thank you. So discussion again, I don't know how we got into the off topic, but the first one is any other questions or any other discussion in regards, because obviously it doesn't matter what I say, and I'm only one of 7 of the voters. So you guys know, or you board members know, you have all your data and everything else like that. So anyone else for discussion or any questions?
Like I said, just go by the facts that were given to us that we know is true.
I have a comment. Amy, you have mentioned at least one time, I think several times, that Mark is disrespectful towards women and that you cannot work with him. But I saw a lot
That
of
was
women.
Tammy. I've never said towards women. I've said towards me.
Towards you.
Never said towards women.
Well, I've seen a lot of women out here that work with him, that support him.
Right.
So
It's
I
just-
believe that maybe you're the problem and not him.
It's a personal thing. Yep. Tammy's the one who said towards women. It was not me. So 7 board members are the only ones with the discussion and talking. Carmen, anyone else?
Just comment on the whole thing.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Just comment on this whole thing,
No, we're just doing
just
one.
on the first one.
Yep.
Because she went to true and law, so.
That's okay. That's all right. Just the first. Okay, so hearing none, we'll go ahead and take a vote on the agenda adjustment to remove the current board president. And votes?
Mr. Sawatsky,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mrs. Bieszki,
Yes.
Ms. Irby,
No.
Ms. Castillo,
No.
Mrs. Breemsey,
No.
Ms. Morales.
No.
We have 3 votes yes, 4 votes no.
First motion did not pass. Second, we'll have to have a motion to remove that because the election of board president is not required. Can
So
we get a motion?
moved.
A second?
Second.
We're going to remove that second agenda adjustment. B?
Brune, the law firm, we're removing it?
Remove? Because no election, yep. C, motion to remove True Law Firm as the negotiator and as legal counsel. Any discussion?
Why would we remove them as legal counsel?
Please read the
BRD.
recommended actions that the Board of Education moves to remove True Law Firm as the negotiator and legal counsel for purposes of the superintendent and CFO's contract as previously approved on October 13th, 2025.
So then we would want to revise the header and just state and legal counsel for that purpose only, correct?
The recommended action speaks clearly as to what's being asked.
So then correct. So we're not removing.
It's not what I said. I move that the Board of Education move to remove True and Law as the negotiator and legal counsel for purposes of the superintendent and CFO contracts as previously approved on October 13th, 2025.
Correct. That's exactly what I said.
That's a motion on the floor. There needs to be support for discussion.
Support.
Support.
Thank you.
Discussion.
Yes, we want to bring Mark and Patty's contract back into our hands so we can get this contract done, signed, so everyone can move on. Mark and Patty can do their job, keep us going. These kids will have a school, teachers will have a place to come and teach, and we can be a family, as they said. We are a village, and it takes a village to raise your children. We're not just one parent for one child. We're all parents for every child.
So who's going to do the negotiating? You already did that?
Hey, order. Again, the discussions with the board.
Can only be 3 at a time, or it has to be public.
We can do it in public. We can do it in public, and we can do it tonight, and these people
Was asked to you.
can have it be done. The kids, there's children here that are up way too late, observing way too much silliness,
foolishness
this.
of adult decisions and adult items.
Thank you, Amy. So
Absolutely.
the negotiation
Go
can
ahead.
happen right tonight.
Mark, the board is discussion. It's the board.
Call us adults foolish for taking our
So he wants, so we'll do it publicly.
How dare you?
Good night.
Is it going
Amy,
to
by
be?
just telling Mark that, you just showed disrespect for him.
The point is that the board, this is a
What it
board
is
meeting, and
that-
only the board is to discuss, and only the board is to talk about this, to make the decisions.
Amy, we are
So you
all
have to
one.
understand, yeah.
Mark
okay.
is part of our board. No, that was rude, disrespectful, what
So
you
don't
just did to
forget,
him.
though, a board can have
What
a
we
meeting
are
without
trying
the
to do
superintendent
is bring
present.
his
It is
contract-
a board meeting, which is public. You know, it is a board meeting only.
This is not a board
Superintendent
meeting
does not
only. We
have
have
to
the public
actually be
here.
there.
Marcus.
And you know, but we
Now.
are not to engage.
Mark
You
was
know
talking.
that.
We should let him finish.
You know, a personal opinion.
Just want to
So
bring
is anyone going to answer?
Mark's and Patty's contract back into our hands.
So that's, right now, it's a removal of Truan Law Firm as negotiator and legal counsel.
Correct.
Any other discussion from the board? The board. Hearing none? So right now, we're going to take the vote to remove Truan Law Firm as the negotiator and legal counsel. The recommended action is for purposes, remove them for the purposes of the superintendent and CFO contracts as previously approved.
Go ahead. Mr. Sawatsky,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Ms. Bieschke,
Yes.
Ms. Irby.
No.
You said no. Ms. Castillo,
No.
Ms. Breemsey, Mrs. Breemsey,
Yes.
Ms. Morales.
Yes.
Sweet.
No.
We have 4 votes yes, 3 votes opposed.
So the motion has passed for removal of Truan Law Firm as the negotiator and legal counsel for the purposes of the superintendent and CFO contracts that were previously unanimously approved. D, recommended action for review and approval of superintendent and CFO contracts. Recommended action is the board approves contracts for superintendent and CFO as modified through negotiation and presented for final approval.
So moved.
Support.
Could we discuss that? When will this review take place?
How about now?
When will it?
Final?
Can we do
Final approval?
can we? Have a special meeting for this and just discuss
We
the
can.
contract?
We'll have to get those contracts back to review at that special meeting.
Can't we review it tonight?
Mark,
have
do
them in
you
your
have the
possession?
contracts for you and
Right now.
Patty right now?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So right now, your answer is yes, we can. But what's on the table, the recommended action is to do this right now.
If you would read the purpose, it is to review, negotiate, and approve the superintendent and CFO's contracts. Superintendent Welton has said he has them in his possession, and he is willing to negotiate now.
So we're going to do both contracts tonight? We've actually had approved one.
Well, now that Truant Law is no longer the negotiator and legal counsel, you're absolutely right. So we have already, and that was unanimous, that we already had given everything as presented for the CFO. And I don't, what was that date? That was October 13th? And that was presented. So that one right there, we already gave that, and we have been waiting.
Are you asking
Approve
for
that
Ms.
one,
Bullock
Patty.
to
And
speak?
Patty, if you want to,
You want me to respond to that?
yeah, it was given to you, and we do,
Contract was given to me by Truant Law.
first one you presented to be
You
approved.
denied back in June, and did not approve when you had your meeting with Mark, which you did not allow me to be present at. And
It was
and another
only for
contract was
superintendent.
All
proposed.
night, can't even hear.
And I refused the contract that Truant gave me because it is unfair. It did not give me what Mark and I had presented to us. And so I kept asking the lawyer for clarification. I even asked the lawyer if everybody on the board was aware of the contract that had been presented to me. He never answered my questions. No, we weren't. I had back and forth emails with him one day, and finally, his last response to me was, I guess I just let the board know that you have denied the contract I've offered you. And that was the last communication I had with him.
An ultimate timeline.
And he did not give me a timeline. Oh, he
So
had told me I had to let him know that day if I was going to accept the contract or not.
When did we all review and
We all
reviewed that? We agreed to it? We all approved it?
None of us had a problem with your contract.
Nothing that you gave us.
But you guys approved the contract that was presented to you back in June that at the meeting in Mark's office, you guys refused to even look at. And you refused to let me be present to speak on my behalf that day.
When was
Yes.
that meeting? You met with him again?
So
That
Bob,
we
what was
approved
the
it,
one
we
thing you
approved
wanted
it.
edited in her contract? There was only one thing you edited, and everything else we gave and even upped your MSBO professional development, because you should not have been paying that yourself out of pocket. And so we upped that more for you. But Bob, there was one thing you wanted to edit in all of the contracts. What was?
I have not said that I wanted to edit things. I said that they were open for negotiation. I don't know how else to say it. I have repeated that a number of times, that there were elements within all contracts that I would like to have had discussion. Some of that is simply to understand what was being asked for. And because we have never negotiated, and in fact, there's, oh boy, I'm getting horribly frustrated because, quite frankly, the presentation that was brought forward both by the superintendent and the CFO were to bring them with parity with what has been agreed to by this board of the other administrators in this district. And the board has decided not to make that offer forward to Patty, and that's what she's saying, is that it was a 4-2-2, not a 6-2-2. And somewhere in this, an arbitrary deadline came into play, is what I heard her say. Where did that come from? Because that certainly didn't come from the board, and I had no prior knowledge until she just said it.
Yes.
Is that?
We never discussed that.
Well, then who authorized the attorney
the
to, who authorized
closed
the
session.
attorney? Who authorized the attorney to tell her that she had a deadline that she had to meet, or otherwise it would have been considered a refusal of the
I don't
contract?
think it was a deadline. Wasn't it just a signature because she had already approved it?
Ms. Bullock, were you given a deadline?
Yes, I was. You had to have an answer that day.
So who gave the attorney the authorization to put that on the table?
No one. We all, as a board, gave the lawyer consensus of what to negotiate on behalf of the district.
And it was approved until
That wasn't the
last
question. The question that he said was who gave the attorneys the authority to go ahead and give her a deadline. We never
No one,
agreed.
nope, no
to
one
that
did.
Deadline.
We gave the approval and the consensus to go ahead, give her everything she wanted as a consensus. We gave
So
that.
you're saying the attorney on him by himself, and he's the one that
I'm only
gave her the
saying that
deadline?
he can only negotiate what was given to him by us unanimously.
Okay, so again, question is who gave him authority? And if nobody gave him the authority to give her a deadline, then you're saying that he did that on his own.
You would have to ask him. I mean,
Well,
we
why
can
don't
get
you set up
something in letter.
appointment?
We can get something in a letter, but now we're actually, that's not even an issue. Now we're actually negotiating it. And
saying.
everyone agreed unanimously to give her everything she wanted. And if I recall, it's either annuity or longevity, which Bob asked to have that removed.
No, I said
No,
it would
not
be-
removed.
Yeah, he did say remove.
No, he didn't say removed.
Say it again,
He
Carmen.
wanted to negotiate that. He wanted to negotiate. He didn't say remove it.
Yeah, he did. He said remove longevity.
No, because you took that contract, you took that class with me. They said that is all in all of the contracts of the superintendents. So
So
you got to
Patty,
remember
did you
that.
accept or no?
What, the contract that he presented to me?
Yeah. It was yours, correct? It was what you gave us, and then that was.
No, it was
No?
not. That was the contract from June. It was not the contract that was given to you guys in October, the contracts that Mark and I presented. You're combining two contracts.
So there's more than one
Second contract talked
contract.
about longevity.
Right, that's what she was trying to say, Amy.
And you guys were mixing two contracts together. You even had it in there that you were taking away any of my payout for my sick days.
No, we did not.
Yeah, we didn't
I mean, I can
approve
show you that. I
that.
can go get the contract with all the
we
red
did
lines
not.
through it. You were taking away paying me out my sick days.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Actually,
Go get the
Patty, I'm going to tell you, honey, we did not. None of us ever agreed to that. So either the attorney did that himself and didn't let any of us know, or maybe he let Amy know. I don't know.
Not let me know.
But
We
we
talked
never
about it.
agreed to that. Any of us, not from what I know, none of us agreed to that kind of contract.
For purposes of the process and what's on the floor, we have a motion and a second for an item to be decided by this board. I don't understand how this discussion is helping us move forward towards that.
No, I say, Mark has both of their contracts. Let's look them over. Let's negotiate. Let's finish it tonight, because I'm sure we can help each other and do the right thing and make sure everybody gets what they deserve. Because Patty, I'm going to tell you, honey, I looked at Amy's face, and I do believe that she didn't even know about that. So I really want Mark, let us see the contracts, let's take care of the contracts so we can see what you're talking about, okay?
I even told you in the last meeting, we gave you everything you wanted. We thought we were good to go and vote on it. So did you, so you said there was a newer one, and we were combining them. Unfortunately, there was some, apparently, just misunderstandings, because we're getting these all confused from one to another.
That's why let's take a look at the one that Mark has of Patty's in his contract.
So Brentoya's question was, didn't we already approve the one? And she wanted to know if Patty approved it, but Patty, you're saying no.
No, I did not.
Okay.
So they have a new one to present us.
So you have a new one to present to us.
The same one from October?
Yeah.
actually, it's the same one going back before
No.
we actually had it.
Yeah.
So this is,
So can we
this
get
doesn't,
that, Patty?
can I actually talk?
Oh, well.
and explain
we're gonna
this?
ask on Patty's.
Well, actually, Patty authorized me to negotiate on her behalf, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And the lawyer has that as well. So I want to be very transparent in that going back and saying, well, we want to negotiate on the contract that was last year, teachers union. By the way, I didn't accept it, but we want to go back. You're mixing things that are backwards in time and then saying, well, we don't want to look back at what the lawyer did or what somebody said, but we want to look back on that contract. Everybody had the opportunity. This is why we have negotiations. You have the opportunity to put a proposal over, just like the other side has an opportunity to take that proposal and give you their proposal. And then the two of you, two sides, work together to come to a compromise or an agreement. At no time did that actually happen. Now, whether that's Troon Law's problem or that's the school board's problem, I will tell you in full transparency, we didn't have a problem between Patty and I handing those out. Now, where it went from there, that isn't an issue. I'm not paying for the service. I think you should ask some questions. You paid a lot of money for that service. But the reality is, we've put that out. We had all the comments. We had all the red line, the yellow highlighting. We operated in good faith. Both of us did. In good faith. That was not reciprocated. And so here we are today, November 10th. This is the contract. You turned down the other ones, or your lawyer didn't look at them, or your lawyer didn't take them and share them with you, which I'm not sure why we're employing him then. But the reality is these contracts have been sitting there. No, they're not the same as June, because this is actually November. And we're deep into our year now. So going backwards and saying, well, we gave you everything, Patty. Sorry that it's not the same as administrators is shameful behavior for us as professionals. We're better than
Go
that.
ahead and let's distribute what is on the table now, Mark. Or, yes, Mark.
Well, you have a motion on the table. I believe the proper order is to act on the motion.
That is correct.
Well, it's, so the,
Again, yep, go ahead.
We just
Go ahead,
got
you guys talk.
then he'll show us his
So
contract.
they want
so we're
to
going to
approve.
approve it before we actually see it.
Correct.
No.
Negotiate?
no, we're not.
We're going to
No.
approve to see it.
But can we, okay,
We're going to vote to see it.
there should
You
be
read, it
some,
says to
review
review.
and
Right, this is stated differently.
This is all in one. This is to review, negotiate, and approve. So are we going to do all that by saying yes right now, and we're just approving it before we get to do any of the extra?
So you have a motion, a second, then discussion. In discussion, you can take a look at it.
What I'm saying
And then you
is
vote.
you're asking for a vote right now to approve this. That is part of this. So there's no room for negotiation after we approve it.
That's
You're
not
in
true.
discussion.
No, well, Carmen's saying that we want to see the contracts first before we go ahead and approve it.
Everyone has the right to say no or yes when it comes to the approval. The purpose is to review, to negotiate, and then take a vote.
This says to review, negotiate, and approve the superintendent, like you're.
That is the purpose.
Right. So,
Well, if you choose not to approve it after you negotiate it, I guess then that means you've negotiated in bad faith, right?
so you're telling me to say yes right now?
I'm
and
not
then
telling
we're
you to
not
do
gonna
anything. I'm asking you to use your noodle and do what's
I am
right.
using my noodle.
No,
Asking a question and you're using name calling?
No, I did not name call. I
You just
asked.
called me use my noodle. Come on.
okay.
I am.
What did he say?
So Carmen,
So you're telling me I'm not.
Yeah.
I apologize if I have offended you. I
Okay.
did not mean to.
All right, hold on. I can't even hear what you guys are actually saying to each other, and we're supposed
so,
to.
I mean, if we,
do this in private.
Carmen, I mean, if we approve it,
We do the
then it's already said and done, and then
Right.
we wouldn't be, so if there's any change, I think what she's saying is, if there's something on there that we wanted to change or work with Mark, after approving it, are we still going to be able to negotiate?
Right.
that-
Yes.
Yes.
The-
That's, yeah.
This is not an approval of the contract. It is to review and have the discussion.
Okay, so we got to say yes, that we want to,
Okay, but it's a part of what he put in there. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get at.
So you want it rewritten, basically?
so we got to
Carmen.
approve
Can
it.
we do the approval after and separate that? Like, I don't understand why you're saying we cannot look at this contract before we do exactly what you have on here, like you told us to do exactly what the other ones were.
She's asking to amend.
Well, I tell you what,
Right.
why don't we do it right
Right.
now? Hold on. Let her, if you will hand them out, we'll discuss it. We'll negotiate it right now.
And then
we
we'll
can,
just
then we can move,
approve
take the action.
That's all I was asking for.
Okay.
Is that what your question was?
Yes, that's,
Okay. I apologize.
Oops, sorry.
thank you.
Okay. This is Patty's. Can I get my readers?
If there's preference, we could go line by line.
May I suggest that we look at it and then we can have individual questions if there are any relative to what's being presented?
Absolutely.
I would say let us take a look at it.
Everyone take their own time to read that and then ask their individual questions. You want to say? Bob?
I'm good, thank you.
Patty, one of the questions was in number 5. Is that amount suffice? I know we asked you before, or I actually asked you before with a couple of board members. Is that amount suffice, or should that be raised?
No, that's fine. That will cover my, to keep my certification up.
Okay. 'Cause we were raising that thinking that we had no idea you were doing that on your own. You should not have been doing that on your own. So that will suffice. Number 4, the other question, was that the question about the amount? Are those amounts in number 4 on the per day?
Those are exactly the same as the administrator contract.
That was the question. Yeah.
And I appreciate not announcing numbers. The percentages would be fine, I think.
Did I say an amount?
No, I'm just
Oh.
thanking everyone for
Oh,
that.
is there a reason why number 7 was never put in there before? It was not in the contract, the previous contract.
From the contract in June, number 7 is added. That is a due process, just cause protection for Miss Patty.
Even before, was there a reason why it was now just being added this year?
Yes, we've spent 5 months on that reason. And so that's why that is in there.
And that was added in June for the first time.
Correct.
So there was, I'm surprised the second part of that was never added. Because the first section, I mean, that's common, that's Michigan law, basically.
It may be Michigan law, but it isn't contractual law. Yeah, we have to have that in there for that to be that protection for someone that doesn't have a bargaining unit on their behalf.
So Aaron, that was, yeah. Did anyone, out of all the questions you guys were asking, Anything else? Any other questions or discussion?
Nope.
Perfect. We got all of our own questions answered together. So, Carmen, you want to jump in then?
Now we'll look at your contract, or what?
Well,
Oh, Robin.
Do we have to approve hers first, then they go on to Mark's, or can we just do them both at one time?
I think, how?
One at a time.
Is it one?
One at a time, but should we, well, Carmen can take over as secretary. If you want to get a separate sheet of paper.
Is that how we're supposed to do it, Bob? Like one at a time, or, because I think you had it listed as one.
Yeah, it's one.
We can do it, whatever the favor is of this board, I would
Do
just,
you want to wait, or are you able, okay to
I'm okay with us getting it
take
done.
it?
I would,
Oh, she's coming.
she is.
Okay,
I would like
that's okay.
them separate because I think Patty deserves that.
No, I agree. I
Yeah,
just
that's
wanted
what
to
we
make sure
wanted.
The way he put it on here, that we're sticking to what he's asking for.
Understood.
Yeah.
We're discussing it, that's what I wanted.
Right.
So let's, if we're ready to move forward on this agreement, are we looking for a motion on this agreement?
Hearing no other discussion in regards to CFO contract, I think we're able to take that
Okay,
vote.
I'd move that we accept the administrative contract from Ms. Bullock as presented to this board.
So move.
Or,
Ready? Yep. You guys can see my paper over here. It says-
Okay.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Yes.
Mr. Lang.
Yes.
Mrs. Bieshki.
Yes.
Ms. Irby.
yes.
Ms. Castillo.
Yes.
Mrs. Breemsey.
Yes.
Ms. Morales.
Yes.
We have 7 yes votes and 0 opposed.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah. Okay.
So are we handing these back?
Then I won't walk out with it this time.
Yeah. Again, Pat, we thought we already had this taken care of, as I explained it to you last meeting. We thought we were going to vote on that, so I'm glad we were able to do that tonight.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll let it yourself.
Section D, again, the superintendent contract as presented at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Included in this contract packet that you have is an addendum that has the 2022 total compensation for, I don't know, 20-some districts in the regional area, along with their number of students, years and positions, days, et cetera. And you will note, I've highlighted where Bridgeport Spalding was at in 2022. That is the latest data available on the Mackinac Center without getting FOIAs, and I'm not going to go down that path. but you can see where the ranking is. And if you are on that page and you're looking at that particular page, the comparative salary scale that I'm asking for in this contract is a 6.222, 6% in the first year. The calculable number would bring me approximately to where you see Birch Run on that in 2022. If that helps position where you believe the total compensation would be at, that's where that would be at compared to 2022 and 2025.
Mark, is this the same contract we saw 2 weeks ago?
This is nearly the same contract. One adjustment was made on the compensation. There are bullet points on number 8 that change if we go below the percentages for fund balance. The board would not be paying out the longevity or annuity.
Hopefully you guys have been able to read everything. And any questions now for Mark?
It's the IRS rate.
IRS rate for mileage, 70 cents.
Mark, on number 10, Bob says addendum, I think it's an amendment. What we would ask is, was it, Carmen found it somewhere else. What one did you find it at? Bob said. What number? I didn't write it down. Okay. So there's no page numbers, but it is number 10D.
Vacation and holidays.
Yeah. After, actually, very last sentence, go one back up before it says the superintendent, and an amendment in regards to adding, so that second to last sentence there. Who is in charge?
I'm trying, you said second,
Yeah, do you want me to show you?
what do you, well, who's in charge? The superintendent shall schedule use of vacation days.
No.
And,
Yep.
and what?
So, and conduct a business of the district, and shall notify board president but literally state went out of district and who is left in charge.
Okay, so like if
If you're gone for an afternoon.
I'm gone, who's in? Sure, I don't see that as an issue. Meaning an administrator that would, in the event something happens while I'm out of district, and this particular person would be the person to handle that situation in that moment in time, sure.
Yeah.
So shall notify the board president.
So it already says when PTO is used, but in regards to being out of district. The language there.
Specifically for vacations and holidays, I would notify the board president, including who acts in how, I mean, I'm trying to think of how to say that.
Who acts on your behalf in your absence?
Including,
Say it again, Bob?
Who acts in his behalf in his absence?
Who is acting on your behalf?
during the absent?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. I accept that.
And right below that for E,
Oh, me. Yeah.
let's go to 8.
What number?
Number 8. There's some things that I would like to add to that.
One of the bullets or this page or the next page?
That
One of the bullets or the next page? Or in general?
in general, it's on for that and table 1, but to include the
All right, board, yeah. Okay, board, hopefully you guys have been able to read everything and any questions now for Mark?
what is the IRS rate?
IRS rate for
Mileage.
mileage, 70
70
cents.
Mark, on number 10, Bob says addendum, I think it's an amendment. What we would ask is, was it, Carmen found it somewhere out. What one did you find it at? And Bob said to. One over? I didn't write it down. Okay. D. So there's no page numbers, but it is number 10D.
For vacation and holidays. Right?
Yeah, yeah. After, actually, very last sentence, go one back up before it says the superintendent, and an amendment in regards to adding, so that second to last sentence there. President. who is in charge.
I'm trying, you said second,
Adding that. Yeah, do you want me to show you?
what do you, well.
I'll show you.
Who's in charge when you're gone?
Superintendent shall schedule use of vacation days
No, no.
and what?
So, and conduct of business of the district, and shall notify board president, but literally state who is, went out of district and who is left in charge.
Okay, so like if
So if you're gone for an afternoon.
I'm gone, who's in? Sure, I don't see that as an issue. Meaning an administrator that would, in the event something happens while I'm out of district, and this particular person would be the person to handle that situation in that moment in time, sure.
Yeah.
So shall notify the board president.
So it already says when PTO is used, but in regards to being out of district,
I see what you're saying.
the language there.
Specifically for vacations and holidays, I would notify the board president, including who acts in how, I mean, I'm trying to think of how to say that.
Who acts in your behalf in your absence?
Including,
Say it again, Bob?
Who acts in in his behalf in his
behalf,
absence?
yeah. Who is acting on your behalf?
during the absent,
Correct.
Correct.
okay? I accept that.
And right below that for E,
Oh, wait. Where are you? You're on E. Look at right here.
let's go to 8.
Okay. What number?
Number 8. There's some things that I would like to add to that.
One of the bullets, or this page or the next page?
Some stipulations to go along with it.
For one of the bullets or the next page? Or in general?
In general, it's going for that and table 1. But to include at table 1, the very last one, I would like to add language to that. Stipulations.
So would that be bullet number 2? So 2 or 3?
Are you in the bullet area? Because you had said table 1, so I was looking at table 1, but,
Because that goes with the bullet areas, right?
so under the paragraph that says additionally, the administrator agrees to the following provisions regarding compensation outlined in table 1, colon, and then there's 3 bullet points. And you would propose a stipulation?
Yes. However, I don't want to do that tonight.
We're in,
This would be a more of a private matter, a special, even a ad hoc or a special meeting where we can just focus on that?
I think we're in the middle of a negotiation and you're asking to postpone the negotiation. So we're in this, I'm not understand what the stipulation is, but
Well, I could
we're,
have had, I mean, if I knew this was going to be brought up, that we were going to negotiate tonight, I would have had them written out. But as far, the lawyers had been doing the negotiation. So since it came to us tonight, which I did not have those written out, but that is something that I would like to add to it. So just a little more time so we can get that done.
respectfully, Brentoya, this has been
Yeah.
5 months. And
5
how do we not have the information when if you're talking about a stipulation for compensation, this is a public negotiation, and everybody here understands this has never been done with the superintendent before in public like this. And you're adding something even more complicated, which is a private matter that you said, because you're not prepared. I can honestly say that in every negotiation I've ever done on this board's behalf, we're rolling in fully prepared. It doesn't matter whether it's May, it's June, July, August. We've done that in all of them. I'm prepared. I'm always prepared. And
I wasn't.
this would have been part of why
All right,
you
hold
guys
on.
have the opportunity to work with the lawyer. I'm not on your side on that end of it. I would love to make that part easier for you, but we are here now, and we are here tonight, and we have children, people waiting on this, and this is the negotiation that exists. I don't understand why we would need to wait on a stipulation that we can't talk about or whatever. I don't know what's going on there. The line by line by line, I'm being transparent. Actually doing this in this room is about the greatest amount of transparency anybody could ask out of a superintendent. And so I'm open about that. I put those bullet points in to give the board assurance that if we went below that fund balance percentage, then I don't have a longevity. I don't have any extra pieces. And as it is, I think that's a great accommodation for the school board that if we go below this, I'm not taking longevity. Nobody else has that in their contract. So I offered that up as something that's, I believe, supportive in the environment that we're in. And I'm disappointed that we're trying to negotiate and then asking that we do it later. And frankly, we've been doing this for 5 months. And if you have something to stipulate, then I think now is the time to stipulate it. If it's not, then we're here right now for this contract.
Hold on. Were there any other questions or anything else? Bob? No?
I guess for the purposes of this conversation, my expectation is that the superintendent would be willing to work with the board concerning goals and objectives in the future, and to deal with things such as strategic plan and potentially other things that the board would like to bring forward that should not be embedded in this contract, in my opinion, and that you would be willing to work with this board moving forward in order to achieve that end. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, and I'm being brief because I'm not known for that, but the answer is yes. That's part of our MASB tool.
Okay,
We can definitely work on that. We've done that in the past.
okay.
All right, yeah, because what Bertoya was, I was confused. I don't even know what she was really asking for.
Well,
Add some language.
She wants to add different language and add language, but she thinks she
at the end
wasn't.
of the day,
What language?
She wants time to bring it back.
But I don't know. I don't see what kind of language could be added to that then. I mean, it's very clear. And who would give up a longevity if it's, below 10%? I mean, who would give that up?
I just want to add something.
Yeah.
but it would be more appropriate for it to be added as a goal or an objective for the superintendent versus embedding it within the contract language itself.
Right.
Well, I think her worry might be if she doesn't add it to the contract and he doesn't meet those needs, then we're stuck in a contract. He can continue not meeting those needs.
At some point in time, we've got to come to a point of trust with each other, right?
Right, I agree.
So,
Can we work together?
well,
Well, that's starting now, I would thought. I thought that was us starting now over to work together. But now it seems like you guys are just trying to pull it apart again. We got to trust each other.
Not trying to pull
You
it
should be
apart.
able to think.
She's not trying
I
to
think-
remove anything from this.
No, she wants to add, but
We're in
oh, you want to add something, you should know what you want to add.
There's quite a bit I want to add.
Well, this is a contract, you're under the compensation. Things that you might want to add, like strategic planning, curriculum, those kinds of things, that really isn't something that should be in the contract as part of compensation, unless you're telling me that you want to put a bullet point in there that if the superintendent does strategic planning, we will give him $5,000. Well, that's my job, is to manage and organize and run the strategic planning for the district. That's included in the job. Included in the job is to manage and take care of and see through the process that our teachers have been going through for 6.5, 7 months of the curriculum review. That's part of the embedded job. The reason you don't see these things in contracts unless they're added to the contract as an additive, such as if I'm now going to be adding the name curriculum director for $12,000 a year to my superintendent's salary, that's another way to give a boost to your salary, that you can't add another curriculum director job to the hours I already work. Let's be honest. I'm not going to work 40 more hours as a curriculum director just because it says on there. I'm doing it because it's the part of the job that I'm already doing. And so adding it in is something that should be through the evaluation, should be set in goals, should be set in expectations. I don't see that as an appropriate space in compensation. I see that as something that's evaluative. And in a contract, the contract should not be evaluative itself. I don't work with teachers on a contract and then evaluate them based on the contract. I evaluate them based on I don't evaluate them, sorry, teachers. The administrators evaluate teachers based on the administrator's evaluation tool that they use for teachers. And so that's where that is found. It's not found in the contract. The contract sets out the terms for the agreement. In this particular space is the terms for agreement on compensation. That's a long answer to say, if we're talking about strategic planning and curriculum, which that Bob hinted at, then that's part of the job. That's what I do. And that's part of what we build together and why we have conversations outside of this setting, so we can build relationships, understand vision, and we can all pull together and row the boat in the same direction. And I really, really, really want that. I've wanted that for the better part of a year now. And so I'm all in on that, Ms. Bremsey, all in. But delaying going through this process is not something I'm interested in completely at this point in time. We're here to negotiate. Let's get this thing done.
Ms. Lucy, any questions? Lucy, any questions?
You have any questions?
No, I don't.
Aaron?
No.
Carmen?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
No. All right. Mark, you stated that you've never said that you would work, or I'm not sure how Bob mentioned it to you, and you said, no, that's what I normally do not do. When Bob said, are you willing to do this? Are you willing to, the goal, all this stuff?
Oh, I said I'm not normally known for having a short answer.
No,
I said
even before
yes.
that. Way before
That's
that. Way before
Pardon?
that. Bob had said something to you. So question, Tammy keeps saying that we're going to move forward and go forward. So the governing board are, actually, I don't even know if we can do that. If there's no other questions, discussion is over. Robin, you can go ahead. Or, hold on, let me get back to it. So this is D. I'm assuming we'll do a 1 and a 2, the CFO and the superintendent. So D1 was CFO, 2 superintendent. So, okay, so the recommended action, again, same thing as before, to approve the contract for the superintendent as presented. Number 2, D2. Nobody's second, just
support. And we're including that line though, right?
As amended, yes.
As amended.
as amended, yep. So that was the recommended action. So we need a first, that was a first.
You need another support? Oh, support.
There we go. Mr. Sawatsky,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mrs. Bieschke,
Yes.
Ms. Irby,
No.
Ms. Castillo,
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Breemsey,
No, it's not to amend. Do we have to do a separate one to amend?
I thought that's what he
Is that what you said?
No, I said to include the amended sentence.
And that was number 10. So Robin, if you have that, that was number 10.
You got voting yes.
Number 10.
That's what she said.
The amendment? No. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have that? That you have heard the amendment?
Yes, I would do it.
We don't have to do, oh, we have to do a vote. You want to just. That's why she got. All right, so. Correct. No, so they think, Tammy and Carmen, I think they have to vote on the amendment. We say no, that we're just gonna vote on Hendrick in general for the as amended.
As amended. Okay.
Whatever, but, yeah, as amended. So we don't have to do a separate vote for the amendment. Yeah, just. So this right here, no amendment.
Okay, I got it. All right. We're talking about amendment. All right, I got it.
Now I'm ready. This is literally to approve this contract tonight. Okay.
As amended?
Correct. I didn't want to say that to confuse them. As amended. Okay. Now watch our vote. But we don't have to do anything else.
Right.
Okay.
All right, Jack. We're ready. I'm starting over.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Yes.
Mr. Lang.
Yes.
Mrs. Pieszki.
Yes.
Ms. Irby. She said no.
She said no.
Ms. Castillo.
No.
What I do?
Mrs. Breemsey.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Ms. Morales.
All right, now I'm confused.
No.
The vote is 3 yes, 4 no.
So D, for the agenda adjustments, D2. Is not.
What was the problem with the contract? You just negotiated out, you had a problem with the contract. You discussed it, you get out of
The board. So A, B, C, D, E. So E, the amendment E, clarification of board policy, president's authority.
I'm so
Now we're on, this one is yes. E is the next one. Clarification of board policy 1001. So recommended action that the board
No reason whatsoever.
You said you would do that? So we will go ahead.
I can make Gilly do a better job.
We're gonna take.
I would suggest at this point.
Go ahead, Bob.
Jazz ain't playing. Jazz is gonna get put out.
Yeah. Tell us why. You have no reason.
What was wrong with your What's your issue? What's your issue?
So we are going to take and defer the rest of the. Now, the agenda adjustments, you said we would take a deferral to the next meeting, or are you taking deferral overall? Okay, is it overall or?